Hi, everyone. It's Rich Schefren, and today I want to introduce you to someone who many in our industry consider to be the original king of Amazon Kindle publishing. He actually was one of the first to become part of Amazon's beta program before it was officially released to the public. So not only is he one of the first individuals to make over six figures selling information on Amazon, but he's quietly made millions of dollars as an online marketer over the last decade as well, and today he's going to show you what works. You're going to learn how to quickly get started, how to overcome the roadblocks that you may traditionally see with online marketing, and how to finally see results from something that can grow into a long-term business that you'll profit from for years and years to come. In fact, Ty first started his Amazon business nearly 5 years ago and has grown it by leaps and bounds year after year, and you'll get to learn how to do the very same thing during this training session. So, everyone, here's Ty, and Ty, I really appreciate you taking this time to teach this incredibly valuable material.
All right, I want to welcome everyone to today's webinar today, this morning. I know we have a very diverse and global audience, so there's many different time zones that are represented on this webinar. So I appreciate you being here. I encourage questions. I encourage you to, if there's something that I go over and you're not familiar with it or you'd like more explanation on that, then by all means, please ask, okay? Now, before we get started, I want to make sure that everyone can see and hear me. So you should be able to see my screen. Let me just change screens here for a second. And you should see a young lady with a teardrop going down, towards her cheek. All right, can everyone see that? And can you hear me as well? Okay, awesome, great. I love it. So with that said, let's get started. Simon says yes, she can see and hear me. Vanna, Derek, Christina, awesome, great. So everyone can see and hear my screen. Now, the reason why Will says yes, Anna says yes, beautiful. I love it. All right, so you can all see and hear. You can see my screen. You can all hear me. Perfect. Now, the reason why I have this teardrop here is because I want to ask you a question. How many people here have ever had a major problem or have had difficulty in their life? Right? How many people have ever had? I guess it's safe to say if you're human, right? You've experienced some type of difficulty. Me, says Vanna. Me, says yes. Major, says Simon. Um, you know, it's all part of being human, right? Muhammad says me as well. So here, the thing that I've learned about obstacles and difficulty and adversity is, you know, it's all about how we look at things. I've had my fair share of adversity. As a matter of fact, I grew up in one of the worst housing projects in the 80s, a project called Father Panic Village. And this was during the days of crack cocaine and heroin where, it was just insane. You had nothing but violence, you had death, you had drugs, you had destruction. And this was in the northeast, the New York, New Jersey, Connecticut area of the United States here. And this is a very dark period, right, for the United States. There were just major amounts of drugs that were being pumped into the inner city, and this is where I lived. It was in the middle of the hood, middle of the ghetto where I was growing up as a kid. And, I battled with that and lost a lot of friends to both crime as well as drugs. And not only that, but I also was born with sickle cell anemia. I was born with sickle cell anemia, and how many people are familiar with what sickle cell anemia is? It's actually a chronic blood disorder that attacks your blood cells. And if you see up here in the first diagram, number one, where your blood cells are typically a round, soft, pliable shape that allows them to easily flow through your veins and your capillaries, right? And with sickle cell anemia, what happens is when you go into a crisis, a sickle cell anemia crisis, your blood cells become hard, right? And they turn into this sickle shape, hence the name sickle cell anemia. And what happens is you have an incredible amount of pain, incredible amounts of pain in your chest. It could be in your legs, your arms, your head, your back. It's just like, they say it's worse than giving birth. Now, ladies, I'm not a female, so I don't have anything to compare it to, but they said that it's one of the worst pains that you could ever experience. And as a result of that, the only drugs that they can treat the pain with are high dosages of extremely powerful medications like Dilaudid and morphine and Demerol and things like that. So I've spent weeks and weeks and weeks in a hospital. It's something, I had to learn to walk all over again. At one point, I had to learn how to use my right arm at one point all over again. And, I've spent up to 6 weeks. There was a point where every month I would spend weeks in the hospital pretty much, especially when I was a kid. As I got older, I learned how to deal with it. But the terrible thing about sickle cell anemia is there's no cure for it. There's no cure. And, one day I was in Yale New Haven Hospital, and, I was having a pain crisis. I was in Yale New Haven Hospital, which is a major hospital in the Northeast, and I was about 12 years old, and I overheard my doctor tell my mom outside of my hospital room that, Mrs. Cohen, you shouldn't expect your child to live past the age of 17. All right? So as a 12-year-old, I'm hearing my doctor tell my mom this, and they didn't know that I overheard them. And he's saying, you shouldn't expect your child to live past the age of 17 because of this disease. Right? So that was my reality. So I'm expecting the worst, right? And not only that, but a few years later, my sister died. Not actually even a few years later, but a few months later, my sister died from sickle cell anemia. Out of 8 children in my family, just her and I had it, right? And she ended up dying when I was about 12 years old. So I'm in a hospital and I'm hearing this, and then I get out of a hospital and my sister dies. My older sister dies from it not too long afterwards. And, I'm thinking that, man, life is just terrible. So I'm thinking the worst. I'm like, either I'm going to die from the environment that I'm being raised in, I'm from this ghetto, this hood, right? Or I'm going to die from this disease that killed my sister as well. Right? So that was my outlook on life, and I started to live a very negative, destructive life, a life that was destructive to me. And I didn't think much of myself until I took the ride that changed my life. All right? Until I took the ride that changed my life. My mom and dad didn't live together. They separated when I was a kid, but he always made it a point to come by the house several times a week. And every Sunday he would take me and my younger brother to church. I mean, I just hated it because I would fall asleep in church. I always thought that the pastor was speaking directly to me because I was living this destructive life. And one day on the ride back home from church, I'm about 17 years old, and in the back of my dad's car, as I'm sitting there, I see this red book, and I pick up this book, and it's by Les Brown. I see this book, and it's by Les Brown, and it's one of his. How many people are familiar with Les Brown, a motivational speaker? All right, how many people are familiar with Les Brown, a motivational speaker? If you are, say yes. Les Brown rocks, says Derek. I love that, Derek. Simon says, no, not me. All right, so if you're not familiar with Les Brown, write down his name, Lesbrown. Les Brown, okay? Yes, says Mel. Awesome. So you guys, Les Brown. So I pick up this book, and I'm 17 years old, and I was a ferocious reader, right? Because one of my coping mechanisms for being in the hospital when I was in these extreme pain crises is my mom was very smart. She didn't graduate college. Well, she didn't even go to college, I should say. But she knew that if she could get my mind off the pain, then it would help sometimes. It would be a coping mechanism for me. So she would buy me bundles and bundles of comic books, right? So I had this amazing appetite for reading. So I pick up this book, and I had never seen anything like it before, and it was by Les Brown, and it said, I started flipping through it, and it said, you could be more than your current situation. And it was it was actually the first personal development book I had ever read. All right, and I promise I'm going to get to the point in just a moment. Just give me a few more seconds. All right, and I'm flipping through this book, and he's talking about your circumstances don't have to determine who you are. All right, and he says, don't let someone else's opinion of you become your reality. All right, don't let someone else's opinion of you become your reality. I'm looking at all of these quotes that are in this book, and I'm saying, wow, are you talking to me, Les? It felt like he was talking directly to me. All right. Another one. When life knocks you down, try to land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. And I needed to hear this at the right time. Another one. Accept your responsibility for your life. Know that it is you who will get you where you want to go, no one else. And this was a game changer for me. When I saw this book, and I did what any 12-year-old would do. What do you think I did when I was riding in the back of my dad's car and I saw this book? Yes, that's Les Brown. That's correct, Ian. What do you think I did? What any 17-year-old would do, I'm sorry. I stole the book. That's right. I stole a book out of the back seat of my dad's car, and forgive me, Dad. You know, my father's no longer with me. He ended up with us. He ended up getting shot, and some guys tried to rob him, and they ended up shooting him. You know, he was a hard worker. He worked 3 jobs at once. He was a construction worker. He built most of the tall buildings that you see, like in New York at that period. His construction team. He also worked as a security guard, and one of the jobs, the job that he actually got robbed and shot at while performing, was a taxi driver. Some guys tried to rob him, and even though he gave them his wallet and he threw his keys to him, and as he started to walk away, they ended up shooting him in the back and paralyzing him. And after that, shortly afterwards, he had died from that. But what I did was I stole a book out of the back seat of his car, and I took it home that night, and I stayed up till about 4 in the morning, and I read the entire book. It was about 250 pages, all right? Now, at that point, after seeing this, I thought, wow, there's got to be more to my life than this. So what I did was I said, you know what? How am I going to get out of this environment? I may not be able to do anything about my health, or so I thought. But I can definitely do something about my environment. How am I gonna get out of a ghetto? How am I gonna get out of a hood? So I started up a few businesses with no success. I just failed after failure after failure. All right, here I am, 17, 18 years old, and I'm trying my best, and I'm working as well, and nothing seemed to be going right, right? And it wasn't until I found what I'm going to be sharing with you, this Kindle cash flow program, and how to publish books to Amazon, that totally changed things to me. All right, I've had a few successful businesses, but this was the most successful for me. All right, I'm doing about $40,000 to $50,000 a month with this program, and I'm going to share that with you. And this has changed my life. All right. This is my wife here, my beautiful wife, and this is me here. We got married, and this is my dad. Like I said, my father died. He died a couple of years ago. He's no longer with us. He got shot and ended up being paralyzed. That's why he's in this wheelchair here. And you know, we ended up being able to have this amazing wedding, all because of what I'm going to show you in just a few moments. All right, and my life has totally transformed. So I went from living in the ghetto and just being totally broke to now being able to travel the world. As Mark Anastasia may have shared with some of you guys, you know, we take about 6 vacations a year. All right, we've been all over the planet: London, France, Italy, Japan, San Diego, everywhere. All right, this is my family here. We just renewed our wedding vows in Puerto Rico, and we flew 35 of our family members out. So this is the difference, and this is what this business that I'm going to share with you has been able to allow me to this is the type of lifestyle that this business has been able to live. You know what's amazing is how many people have bad credit? You know, when I was broke, I couldn't get a $300 credit card. Oh, Vanda says she's from Puerto Rico. Awesome, awesome. You know, it's amazing now that you know, you get, when you get hundreds of thousands of dollars in your bank account, and when they see that you're doing incredibly well, they literally force credit cards on you. There was a point when I couldn't get a $300 credit limit. Now American Express, they send me their top card. You know, I got a card from them about 2 years ago. It's the American Express Black card. No, first, I'm sorry. I got the American Express Platinum card. All right, and there's no limit. How many people have the American Express Platinum card? And there's no limit with it, right? Okay, so I called up, and I'm trying to figure out what's my limit, and I thought it was about $5,000, right? Because, you know, I'm thinking American Express. So I called up, and I said, what's my credit limit on this? If I wanted to charge $5,000 worth of goods, could I? And she says, yes. She says, your limit is you actually have more buying power than that. But she wouldn't tell me what it was. So then I called the next day and I said, if I wanted to charge $15,000, would it go through? Yes. So an hour later, I called up again. I'm curious by this point. If I wanted to charge $25,000 worth of goods, would it go through? Yes. So then the next day, I'm really intrigued. and I'm trying to find out what my credit limit is, because remember, I was never able to get a $300 limit card before. Okay, and now American Express and all of these major card companies are giving me major limits. And I called up again. I said, if I wanted to put $50,000 on this card, would it go through? And the answer was yes. And eventually, long story short, I kept calling, and I actually stopped at $250,000, $250,000, because I got nervous, and I just was like, wow, that's a lot of power. But long story short, now American Express, because they see how well my business is doing, all right, I'm able to put $250,000, $500,000 on, my black card now. So how much of a difference is that? Is that incredible? We're able to travel all over the place. Here we are. We're in the Caribbean here, riding on horseback in the ocean here. All right. My wife and I, we vacationed out in Hollywood for about a month and just had a great time. Here's my daughter, Summer. She does a lot of beauty pageants and cheer, and she holds the highest title in our state for her age division, all because of the lifestyle that what I'm about to show you has provided. Here's her first magazine cover that she's done. She's a model also, so she's appeared on several magazine covers. That's her and her right there in the back. And I've also been able to meet just countless dozens of celebrities. How many people know who this is right here? All right, how many people? Let's see who's the smartest here. Who gets it? Who's this guy right here? This giant. Tony Robbins, says Mel. Absolutely. So we got to hang out with Tony Robbins and his wife, Sage, for a day, and it was just an incredible time. All right, how many people know who this guy is? All right, on the left-hand side over here. All right, we got to hang out with Tony Robbins, and we just had an amazing time, and it was just him and his wife are just amazing. This is me, and this is my wife, Melody, on the side. Mel says Snoop Dogg. Mel, you know everyone, huh? Man, look at that. I got to meet Snoop Dogg out in California at I do a lot of charity work now because I'm just so passionate about being able to help people, which is why I'm on this webinar. While I don't smoke, right, or I don't do any type of drugs, but while standing next to Snoop Doggy Dogg, I caught a contact here. I'll be honest with you. That's why I've got this face. Like, wow, he must have been smoking some really powerful stuff. So, but I mean, this is the lifestyle that it's afforded. Look, we're able to go out here and drive Ferraris and Lamborghinis and fly in helicopters. And I actually got to drive a Formula One car for an entire weekend. This was a camp here. This is the type of stuff, the lifestyle. And I'm not showing you this to brag, but I'm showing you this to show you that I talk the talk and walk the walk. All right. Here now, this is something that blows me away right here. These are my children right here. We're flying out. We were flying out I think we were flying to Japan here. All right. I got invited to speak at an event in Japan. And normally, when you're flying coach, right, they don't want you anywhere near the cockpit, right? But if you fly first class, all of a sudden things change up, and they're inviting the kids to come in and check out the control panels. And I'm like, I don't know if they should be doing that. I don't know if that's safe, right? Right before we're flying out. But this is just how people treat you totally different when you have money. It's not fair, but it's just the reality of things. Now, this is my most proudest moment right here. All right. Everything else is fine. Everything else is cool, but this is what has really made me the most proud. Two things. Being able to buy my mom, this is my mother, our precious Cohen here, being able to buy her a house, okay, and being able to fly her around the world. She's 74 years old. She's always had dreams of traveling, all right, but she's never been able to afford it. But because she's raised me so well, and because I can now afford to do so, she's got this bucket list of places that she wants to go, and here we are in the Dominican Republic. Her passport is stamped like crazy. But this is one of the things that publishing ebooks to Amazon has allowed me to do. So now let's get right into it. So how many people are excited and ready to go in? What I want to teach you is how to partner with Amazon.com to create an instant stream of monthly recurring revenue without having to personally sell anything ever. How does that sound? Are you ready? All right, we've got a lot of information that I'm going to share with you, so I want you to take notes. Christina says, I'm excited. Bob says, I'm excited. Michael is ready. Jason, ready. All right, so first let's talk about what is a Kindle really quickly. Vana says ready. I love that name, Vana. Vanya, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Vanya. First, what is a Kindle? Before we begin, Let me briefly explain to you what a Kindle is. The Kindle is a portable ebook reader developed by Amazon.com that allows its users to be able to shop for, download, browse, and read ebooks, newspapers, magazines, blogs, reports, and other digital media. This thing alone, this device, and this platform that Amazon and Jeff Bezos has created more multi-millionaires, including myself, than almost anything else within the last couple of years. It's a total industry shift. Do you remember like when the steel industry came around and the automobile industry came around and then the internet came around? How many millionaires were created? Well, this is where we are at right now. All right. My goal is to show you how publishing ebooks to Amazon to Kindle can be highly profitable. It can be easy and it can be extremely long-lasting way to generate income. If I could do this, trust me, folks, anyone can do it. All right. Right now, there's a digital shift that's taken place where people are actually buying and consuming written material in the form of ebooks more than ever before. More than ever before, and this trend will continue. As a matter of fact, Amazon is now selling more ebooks for Kindle than hardcover books. All right. As a matter of fact, the CEO, Jeff Bezos, who's this handsome guy here on the cover of Success Magazine, one of my favorite magazines. My goal is to get into this magazine, and I guarantee you it's going to happen within the next year. Wish me luck. For every 100 hardcover books Amazon.com has sold, the company has sold double that amount. How many people have a Kindle device? I want to prove something to you really quickly. If you have a Kindle device, or if you have a Kindle application, or if you've purchased an ebook before, say yes. Yes, Amanda has the Kindle app on her iPad. Me and I love them, says Anna. Yes, says Christina. Ulf, I think it is, ULF, says yes. Yelena says yes. Oh, I like that name too, Yelena. Beautiful names on this webinar here. Bendito, I like that too. Bendito, that's a badass name, Bendito. Jude, that's another one. Wow, where are you guys coming from? This is amazing. Says yes. Ian says yes. Another one. I mean, look at that. Just on this webinar alone, look at how many people have either the Kindle. Ian says 3 of them. Wow, overachiever right there, right? So look at how many people have the Kindle device or some type of a mobile device with the Kindle application, right? Now, what's happened is there's 7 billion prospects on the face of the earth, right? So that makes it easy to sell ebooks to those 7 billion prospects who also, more than likely, have mobile devices. Some people have multiple mobile devices, as Ian just mentioned, right? He's got 3. And that's probably not even including his cell phone and other devices, right? What Amazon did is they got smart. Initially, the only place that you would be able to go in and purchase and download and read your Kindle ebooks from was the actual Kindle device. But then they released the app, and the app allows you to go in and purchase, and your customers, because you're going to have customers once we're done with this webinar, right? I'm going to show you how to do this, who can go in and use like their BlackBerry, their iPhone, their Android phone, their iPad, their Mac, right? Their desktop computer, and they can go and purchase your ebooks. Okay, so that's the beautiful thing about it. And once they did that, they really opened up the floodgates. All right, now this digital shift and publishing platform that Amazon has provided is making some people extremely wealthy and at the least financially free with very little effort. Now, here are 3 examples. Amanda Hocking, right? When she first started, she was an unknown 20-year-old from Minnesota. Here in the U.S., she's made over $2 million publishing stories to Kindle. Over $2 million. And doing this imagine this, being 20, right? I wish that was me. Being 20 plus years old and being able to make multiple millions of dollars just by publishing content to this platform that Amazon has provided. And by her own admission, like myself, she's not a professional writer. She admits this. She says, I can't write for squat. But yes, she still generates millions of dollars. All right. Here's an article that was published on Forbes.com, and this thing has taken off so much that even credible publications like Forbes is jumping into the picture. So they published an article that says, it asks the question, who wants to be a Kindle millionaire? Right? And then they go into detail and they're talking about how literally there's just tons of people that are making incredible amounts of money. we have about 600 people in our Facebook group that are just really crushing it right now. And I'm going to invite you to become part of that Facebook group as well in just a bit. Now, here's another gentleman, Stephen Lever. He's actually in the UK. I know we have a few webinar watchers that are in the UK or in Europe right now. And he sells about 2,000 ebooks a day. Now, imagine if he just sold those at 99 cents each. That would be about $2,000 a day, right? He's selling them for more than 99 cents, but for sake of simple math, that would be about $2,000 a day, $60,000 a month, $720,000 a year. Not bad. The third example is a guy by the name of John Locke, who, according to Amazon, became the first person to sell 1 million Kindle ebooks, and he did it in less than 1 year with just 9 titles. These folks are not professional writers. I'm not a professional writer. I failed English 101 not once, but twice. Don't tell my wife that because she hates to hear that when I'm just brutally honest. But I mean, that's the gist of this. So in addition to these folks, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of people that are making thousands and tens of thousands of dollars selling content on Kindle. Now it's your turn. All right, you're at ground level of what is being called a new age diamond mine. And I want to share with you some of the money that I've been able to make just playing around with publishing ebooks to Amazon. All right, and this was before I created a streamlined system for doing so. And I say playing around with this because it took me a few months before I really took this serious. I was trying other businesses. How many people here try multiple things? Like you're trying multiple things right now and you may not be having any luck, right? And that's okay because that's where I was at when I first started with this. I had my hand in so many different pots and I wasn't having luck with anything. I mean, I was just chasing every single butterfly and rabbit. It's like a dog, right? A rabbit runs by a dog, and what does the dog do? He's got to chase it. And then another rabbit runs by him. He's got to chase that one. And then another one runs by him. He's got to chase that one. And that was me. Okay? Christina says, I'm also a freelance graphic designer. Awesome. And I couldn't get any of these things to work until I started publishing books to Amazon's Kindle platform. So this was one of the first checks that I received. It was any amount of now, I always get this question. Why did I block out? I had to block out some sensitive information, okay? Because I just don't want to put my family's life in jeopardy or anything like that. So I just blocked out a lot of stuff on these checks. I hope you guys are smart enough to understand that. Actually, I know you are. So one of my first checks was from Amazon in the amount of $2,297.30. I didn't really take this serious. Like I said, because I was so blindsided by other things that I was chasing. It was just, what do they call it? They call it chasing the shiny objects. Chasing the shiny objects. When I spoke at Mark Anastasi's event out in London, I talked about this. All right. This was the first check, and can you believe it? I didn't really take this serious. It wasn't until the next month when I went from $2,297.30 to bam, $2,873.13. I saw a 25% increase. 25% increase, and I didn't do much different between the previous month and this month. All right? And then after that, I went from $2,873.13 to bam, $4,462.53. And at this point, I said to myself, there's something to this. All right? Because with all of the other businesses, I've never made money this fast, this easily. So what did I do? I started to publish more ebooks. I started to test different things like price points. I started to test things like changing up my title elements. I started to test things like, playing around with different elements on the covers and descriptions. And I'm going to share a lot of this with you because this is the stuff that will make you a winner when it comes to this. All right. And you can apply a lot of this stuff to anything else that you're doing online as well. All right. And then I went from $4,462 to 53 cents. Bam, the next month to $8,403.84. Now the beautiful thing, now when I go back, right, and I told you that at this point, this is when I really started to take this serious, right? But between this check and this check, I didn't do anything differently. I actually didn't do much work, but why do you think I saw that $600 increase there? I want to see who gets it. Why do you think? Because if you get this, think about it, and it's a very simple answer. Why do you think I saw? Oh, Christina says, what type of ebooks? I publish both fact and fiction. Both fact and fiction. Amanda says Christmas, increase of Kindle customers. Oh, yes. What else? Both of those are great answers. What else? What else? Published another one, says Bendito. Oh, I love these. I love these. Reviews, says Christina. Rebuyers, says Lyman. Man, you guys, Mark was right. Smart bunch. Very smart bunch. I love it. Yes. It was a combination of all of those things. All right. So from 1 month to the other, my sales increased $600 by $600, 25%, and I didn't do anything differently. And you know why? It was number one, as Ulf said, the marketplace got larger. All right. So there was an increase of Kindle customers. Every single day, tens of thousands, probably millions of mobile devices are sold. Right? It's safe to say at least hundreds of thousands of mobile devices are sold every single day. And again, it's probably millions. Whether it's a Kindle device, it's an iPhone, an iPad, it's some type of a tablet, whatever it might be. All right? And a good percentage of those people are downloading the Kindle app. And then they're going in, they're visiting the Kindle store, and they're downloading ebooks. They're purchasing ebooks. So that's one reason. You might want to write these things down. The marketplace got larger. The other reason is, as Amanda says, the Christmas season hit. The Christmas season hit. All right, the holidays hit. And what happens when the holidays come around? People get what? They get mobile devices, they get phones, iPhones, they get tablets, they get Kindle devices, and then they get gift cards. Absolutely, Amanda. I hadn't even thought of that one, so thank you. And what do they do with these pieces, right? They want to download content. They want to take those gift cards and go in and buy ebooks. They want to download ebooks to their devices. So this is the best time to go in and start publishing ebooks. This is the absolute best time because this is about the time when I started. All right. The other thing is, who said, Bendito says I published another one. Bendito, that wasn't until the next month, right? Simon says rebuyers. Yes, Simon. And I want to I'm jumping ahead of myself, but I want to share something really good with you guys. Do you mind if I share something really good? Because Simon just touched on it. All right. When you're publishing this material, you want to make sure that it's high quality stuff. You want to make sure that it's good. Doesn't have to be long. Okay. A lot of my ebooks are only 30 to 40 pages. Fact and fiction. I publish a lot of romance novels, mystery thrillers. I publish a lot of how-to information. I publish a lot of sci-fi. But I keep them at 30 to 40 pages. But I make sure that they're good content. And I'm going to show you how to get good content. It's very easy. I don't write any of this stuff myself, but if you're a writer, then that's a plus. I don't like writing, so I outsource it. I'm going to show you how to do that as well. I just wanted to touch on that because Simon just brought that up. Thank you. Courtney says SEO. Absolutely, Courtney. SEO, search engine optimization. My ebook started to get found on sites like Google, and I'm going to show you how to do that. Man, I love this crowd. Repeat business, Amanda, yes. Same thing that Simon says. Reviews, Christina, yes, absolutely. Reviews will help you to get more sales. And that's another reason why you want to have good content in a way that I'm going to show you how to get it. All right. What did you price your first ebooks at? My first ebooks were priced at $7.97. All right. We're going to talk about price points. Remind me to talk about price points because that's changed a little bit now, and I want to share that with you, okay? All right, so let's continue. And I'm going to ask those questions. I love the questions that are coming in. All right, ask the questions. Okay, let's see. And I may be the only one that can see the questions, so just type them in. And we literally have hundreds of people on here, so if I don't get to your question, I do apologize. There's only one of me. There's like hundreds of you folks. So I'm going to try to hit as many questions as possible. We're going to have a really, really intensive Q&A session at the end as well. There's no such thing as a dumb question, so ask those questions. So now, this is where I got to I'd say within the span of a year and maybe 2 months, all right? just under $30,000 a month. I went from having Amazon deposit my royalty payments and a check for, or send me a check, to depositing them electronically. Now you can opt for either option. You can either tell Amazon send me a check, or you can tell them to electronically deposit your royalties into your bank account every single month. All right, every single month. Like, this is a diamond mine here. This is the diamond mine. And if you see, your ebooks get sold on Amazon's properties. Like, this is their what if I live outside of the U.S.? And awesome question. You can do this no matter where you live. I have customers, as you're going to see, I have clients that are everywhere, from Australia, they're in the UK, they're in Singapore, they're in Japan, they're in Canada. I have customers that are in Russia, so Canada, Australia, Mexico. I've got Italy. I've got France. I literally have just thousands of. I have customers that are represented in over 101 different countries, and it says I'm from Mexico. All right, and should the books be in English? That's a great question, and I want to share that with you as well shortly. First you should publish them in English, right? And then you're going to publish them in other languages. But it's fine. If you want to publish them in Spanish, then that's fine as well. I do that as well. And I'll talk about that in just a few minutes. All right, there's so much I want to share with you folks, okay? So let's continue. Now, what makes this different? What makes this different from like your traditional internet marketing product, or what makes this different from just publishing in a traditional sense? What makes this different from anything else that you might have seen as it relates to either of those two, right? The difference is, all right, it's a real business. This is something that you can do no matter where you're at. My 17-year-old daughter does this, and she actually got started when she was 14. All right, she got started when she was 14. I had her start this. She's 17. She's been at it for. Now, you guys don't share this with her, right? She's been doing it for 3 years, and she's doing about $5,000 a month now, but she doesn't really know how much she's making, all right, because I don't give her access to that, because I put everything away for her college savings. She's going to college next week, and her college savings is paid for already because of what she's been doing with Amazon Publishing. So this is a real business, whether you're a writer, like Anna, I think she says, I love writing. Or if you're like me and you don't like writing and you want to outsource it, I'll show you how to do this in both ways. You're joining forces with a real multi-billion-dollar, globally recognized brand and tapping into a 7 billion person market. Okay, there are 7 billion mobile devices on Earth. Okay, there's almost one for every single human, right? It's a system that's easier to make money with month after month after month than anything else that you may have seen out there before. Okay? All right, so, I mean, the other thing is, I've done a lot of things right. How many people have made a lot of mistakes? Okay? I've also done a lot of things wrong. Like I said, I couldn't get. At one point, I had so many different business opportunities and things I was trying, and different jobs and everything. I worked at UPS, I worked at Walgreens Pharmacy, I worked at Toys R Us, and I just couldn't. I had multiple businesses. I used to try to stuff envelopes and just everything, and I couldn't get anything to work. Right? How many people have been there before? It just seems like I was never making enough money. Right? And I just couldn't understand it. Like, why would what's so terrible is when you see someone that's not smarter than you, right? And they've been able to figure it out. And I've seen that before. I'm like, man, this guy or this lady, she's no smarter than me. What's really bad is seeing someone, and I hate to be rude, but seeing a dummy do very well. Right? And the thing that they've learned is that they picked up on a system and they followed the system to a T. Okay? And that's what this is. It's a system. So you don't have to be the brightest. You don't have to be, you could have failed at everything else and still get this to work for you. Right? Now, after doing this for nearly 5 years, I discovered that no matter what the topic, there are a few key things that you must do in order to be successful with this. Okay, I discovered how to pick highly sought after topics that sell like crazy. I discovered how to price my ebooks so that they generate the most profit. Okay, someone asked me about this. Do you want to know what the best price points are right now? The best price points, if you want, put yes in the questions box if you want to know what the best price points are. All right. Yes, says Derek. Let's see. Michael, yes. Amanda, yes. Oh, yes. Amanda put a question mark in, exclamation mark in. Christina says yes and yes. Simon Long says, of course. Bendito, of course. You guys are not the same, right? Ian says yes, yes. So the best price points are between $2.99 and $4.99. $2.99 and $4.99, because at those price points, it's easy for people to buy. It's not like a life-changing decision. They're not like, okay, do I spend $4.99 on this ebook or do I eat for the rest of the week? Does that make sense? Okay, and the other reason why those two price points make sense or sell the best and make the most profit, right, is because they are impulsive. Yes, they are impulsive price points, right? And the beautiful thing about this is Amazon keeps only 30% of your price point. So to put that in perspective, let's say if you priced your ebook at $9.99, which you can do, that's fine. Amazon will only keep about $3 of that, and you will keep the other 70%, $7. All right? Like, how incredible is that? Think about that. Like, if you're familiar with traditional publishing at all, I mean, you know that they just give you peanuts, right? No one gives you 70%. Even if you're an internet marketer, right, or if you've ever sold any type of affiliate program, you know that most affiliate programs pay between 10 to 40%. All right, so Amazon said, we're really going to up the ante and we're going to pay 70%. I've also discovered a secret element to add to your titles that can double, triple, and even quadruple your ebook sales. Now, these are all things that are part of this system, all right, and how to use this to build a huge mailing list that you can continue to sell to and make money from. Okay, now, what I want to do is I want to show you how to get similar results fast. Anthony Robbins, I had the chance to pick his brain when we got together, and one of the things that he said is, he says, Ty, if you want to be successful, find someone who has achieved the results you want and copy what they do, and you'll achieve the same results. Very simple. All right, that's why going back to what I said about seeing someone who's not as smart as you being extremely successful is frustrating, but once you realize that all they've done is they followed the system, then it makes sense. All right. Now, I discovered this stuff the hard way. You get to cheat and get the easy way. Okay. But there's three secrets to this. Secret number one is I can make more money in 1 month selling ebooks on Amazon than I can in a year selling regular products, or than I can doing it the traditional way. All right. Again, Amazon's ebook customer base is huge. There's over 7 billion mobile devices on Earth. Secret number two is I personally don't have to write, drive traffic, or sell anything, which is a big plus because I hate having to write. I don't like worrying about paying for traffic or handling order taking or delivery or support, right? So I don't like having to deal with any of that stuff. Amazon does it all for you. So it's totally hands off. Secret number three is it's a simple two-step process. I only need a small amount of money to make this work. It takes about $100 to $150. Okay? Simon says, so should I copy Kim K? All right, so it takes about $100 to $150 to make this work. All you need is to be successful with this is a little bit of market research to find an idea, and I'm going to show you how to do that in just a moment. Luckily, there are millions of possibilities, both fact and fiction. Okay, you need about $100, $100 to $150 to hire someone to write the ebook for you using the two-step process and hiring templates that I give you. And then you need a desire to repeat the process, right? Because each ebook becomes another passive income stream that will continue selling for years to come without you ever having to do anything. Imagine if you publish a short 30 to 40, 50-page ebook, and it makes you hundreds or thousands of dollars a month. How many times would you do that? Would you do it over and over and over and over again? Okay, absolutely. And that's what I've done. All right, the three-step process is step one, use the Google Keyword Planner to find a hot and demand topic and come up with a killer title. Easy stuff. All right, I want you folks to write this down. Step one, write this down because now we're getting into the meat. And I'm going to give you a second to write this down. Okay, great. Does everyone have it? Let me know here. Let me know if you've got it. Okay, so step 1, use the Google Keyword Planner to find a hot, in-demand topic. Okay? Okay, awesome. Looks like everyone has it. So, this is the Google Keyword Planner. If you go over to google.com and you type in the phrase Keyword Planner, it should come up as the first result. You're going to click onto this link, and what you're going to see is a page that looks like this a bit. Now, Google changes this up from time to time, but for the most part, it works the same. Now, you don't have to have anything special to access this, okay? You can go in and just set up your account, and it's totally free. What you're going to do is you're going to click this area where it says search for new keyword and ad group ideas, all right? And then when you do that, you're going to see an area that looks like this, okay? This is the area where you're going to put your phrase or the topic or the idea that you're thinking about publishing your ebook around, all right? Does that make sense? Okay, so if you're writing a mystery thriller, then you would go in and put that in. If it's a sci-fi novel, if it's a book on, how to lose weight or how to master the inner game, or if it's a book on recipes for diabetics or something that deals with landscaping, then you would put that in there, okay? And try to be as vague as possible. So don't use any more than 3 or 4 keywords, okay? Then you want to select all languages here, and then you want to hit Google and search partners here, okay? So does everyone have that? All right, perfect. Looks like everyone has it. All right, now, in the next area, what's going to happen is Google is going to say, okay, now, for the phrase that you put in, and in this example, I put in dreams interpretation because I was studying lucid dreaming, and I'm publishing some books that deal with lucid dreaming and the interpretation of dreams. And once you put in your phrase and you hit get ideas, Google is going to not only show you your phrase, but it's going to show you similar phrases and how many monthly searches those phrases received within the last 30 days. All right, does everyone get that? So Google is going to do you a favor. They're going to say, okay, Ty, you've typed in dreams interpretation. You hit get ideas. Here's some other phrases that people typed in that are similar to what you typed in, and here's how many monthly searches they're getting, right? The beauty about this is Google is telling us what type of a market there is for the ebooks that we're thinking about publishing. Super easy stuff. This is why I love this. All right. Now, this is important. Write this down. When you're doing this type of research, you want to make sure that your combined search volume, okay, is between 10,000 to 100,000. Everyone got that? Between 10,000. I'm giving you the formula here. This is everything. All right. I've done this for years and years and years, and to this day, I still find that when I look for topics that combined in similar phrases, right, combined have a monthly search volume between 10,000 to 100,000, I have an awesome demand. And this is an ebook that's going to sell well on Amazon. And the reason why is because anything less than 10,000, and what happens? There's just not enough demand, right? Does that make sense? And anything more than 100,000 and the marketplace is too big, you've got too much competition. Even though once you know all of the stuff that I'm going to share with you, competition won't matter. But this just makes it super easy for you. Okay, remember, I put this course together with my 14-year-old daughter in mind and being able to hand it off to her without her interrupting me and saying, Dad, what does this mean? And I said, if I can explain it in the simplest form to the point where she got it and she's able to get results, then I know that I'm onto something. So does everyone have that? Between 10,000 to 100,000, right before I move on. Okay, perfect. Mikey says yes. Amanda, yes. Simon, yes. Amanda says, yup. All right, awesome. All right, got it, says Derek. Okay, now, this is also another way to come up with awesome titles. Okay, awesome titles. Think about this. Would this make a good book title, Meaning of Dreams? Or would this one, Dreams and Their Meanings? Both of them actually would make great titles, right? Before I move on, I want to make sure that everyone gets this. So you can use this Google Keyword Planner tool for two things. Number one, to do your market research. And number two, to come up with some killer titles. At least to give you some help. All right? And your titles are going to be your first line of defense. Okay? Your titles are going to be your first line of defense. Why do I say that? Christina, absolutely right. Now, Christina, I was just about to speak on that. If you go with this one, Meaning of Dreams, look how many searches have been conducted within the last 30 days. 18,000. Now, do you think if you have an ebook that's titled Meaning of Dreams, and I'm getting ahead of myself, I'm going to show you this, but it's getting search ranking, and it's pointing back to your Amazon book, and there's 20,000, 18,000 people that are searching for this a month, do you think you would be able to make some sales? Yes or no? This is all part of a system. This is why I love doing this stuff. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So now let's continue. Now keep in mind what I said about using these titles and your title being your first line of defense. Why do I say that? Because when most people shop for an ebook, what is the first thing that catches their attention? It's the title, right? It's the title, especially women. So write that down. If you are publishing ebooks that are geared towards a female marketplace, then your titles are really going to stand out to them. Right? Men, we're a little bit more visual, so we pay attention to the covers more, and because we're so visual, that gets us into trouble sometimes, right? But so your titles are going to be your first line of defense. You should have written that down. Your covers are going to be your second line of defense. Second line of defense. If you're publishing books that are geared towards the male marketplace, then you want to make sure that you have attractive covers, right? And then your third line of defense is going to be your description. And we can talk about that as well. If you guys remind me, okay? Remind me to talk about, and I'll even talk about each of those in depth more if you want me to, okay? Those are very important. So you got those first, second, and third. First title, second cover, third is, I appreciate that, Simon, is the description, okay? Right, and women can attest to that probably. How many women look at the title first, right? That's what that. And this is what happens because Simon just commented on that. You look at the title first, and then what happens, women? Right? Women are very clever, guys. If we follow, it goes back to following someone who's successful. Follow the women, you can never be wrong. Don't tell my wife I said that. Right? So they look at the title first, and then if it interests them, they'll go down and pay a little bit of attention to the cover, right? How many females that are watching right now have approached ebook buying in that way? All right, and then after that, Vanna says me. Christina says me. All right, Michelle, me. And then after that, what do? They go in and then they'll read the description and then they'll read the reviews and things like that. But they're very systematic with it, right? That's why I say, women are extremely smart. So if you follow that, then Ian says I do it too. Awesome. Amanda says, very good point. I judge books by cover and title all the time. If they are poorly designed, I don't trust them. And Amanda, I'm going to show you how to get some great covers. All right. Simon, yes. All right. So now, one of the questions that I get is why use the Google Keyword Planner to find titles? Because ranking on both Amazon and Google will dramatically boost your sales. All right. Will dramatically boost your sales. Let's take a look at two examples. All right. Google loves Amazon. And the more that they love Amazon, the more money for you. All right. So let's pretend that there's a book out there that's titled How to Market and Sell Your Ebook. All right. How to Market and Sell Your Ebook. And let's imagine you're not aware that there's an ebook on Amazon with that title, but you have an ebook and you go over to Google. How many people recognize that this is Google? And I want you to pay attention because I'm going to ask you some questions here and I want total participation because if you get this, then you totally get it. All right? You're not aware that there's an ebook out there already. And you go over to Google or any other search engine and you type in how to market and sell your ebook. You hit search and this page comes up. Now, what do you see at first? What are these listings here? What are these listings? Let's see. Those are paid, says Amanda. right? Ad, says Vania. Absolutely. Paid, says Simon. Okay. I gotta close out Skype. Do you mind if I close this out because it's driving me nuts right now? Okay, I want to pay total attention to you folks. So I'm gonna close that bad boy out. Okay, so yes, and what do most people do? We gloss right by them because we know that they're paid ads. But when you scroll down, what do you see? You see an Amazon listing for this book over here. Organic, as Amanda just said. Now, which of all of the listings here stand out the most and why? This we're going to spend some time on because if you get this, I want you to see how powerful using that Google Keyword Planner tool is and how much it can help you to just, when I got this, my sales dramatically increased. Okay? When I got this, it dramatically increased. All right. Derek says Amazon. Sandy says no sound. Can you folks hear me? Sandy says no sound. Sandy, it might be your settings. Can you hear me? Okay, everyone says yes, they can hear me. All right, perfect. I thought maybe GoToWebinar was playing tricks on me. Let's see. The stars, says Christine. Yes, you see the stars here? So you know instantly that, number one, as Derek just said, there's an ebook, right, that is directly related to what you just typed in, and it's available for sale on Amazon. Number two, as Christina said, there's stars that tell you, like, this thing has a 5-star rating, so that must be good, builds credibility. Not only do you have the credibility of Amazon, right, and they're probably already on their way clicking over just because they saw the name Amazon.com, and they saw that this matches their search, but they also see that it has a perfect 5-star rating. All right, they see the reviews. All right, there's a glimmer of a review right here. Can't talk right now. What else? What else do you folks see? All right. Oh, Derek says, Derek, you've got a lot of them. The Amazon listing with the reviews, the price, and the 5-star rating. The price. What else do you see? There's something else here too. There's two more things here. All right. You see that there's a price here, $4.99, right? Like, if you're really looking for information, and you see that there's an ebook available for sale on Amazon, and it's $4.99, are you going to hesitate in buying that? Think about it. This is why I said this $4.99 price point works like crazy. $4.99 to $2.99, because there's no buyer thought that really goes into that. There's no hesitation at all. Thank you, Amanda. That's the word I was looking for. All right. You see that? What else? It's in stock. Bam. So you can go in, you can get instant gratification. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, Christina said it. It's a perfect price, and if the book sucks, you didn't invest a lot into it. Absolutely, Christina. Okay. All right. Joanne, hold on one second, Joanne. There you go. All right, now I want to show you another example. Take a look at this one. Imagine if there was a book titled How to Earn Passive Income in a Lousy Economy, and you went in and you weren't aware of this, and you typed this into Google, How to Earn Passive Income in a Lousy Economy. Guess what happens now? What do you see here? Not only is it listed in the second place, but it's listed in the first, second, and third place. If we go back here, getting your book listed, getting anything listed on the second place, second position on Google can cost thousands of dollars. All right, but when you do this the right way by combining Google and Amazon, you can get this done for free. You can get your book listed there for free and use that to generate just an incredible amount of sales, because you're now capturing people that are searching on Google and may not be aware that there's a book on Amazon, and you're getting folks that are just going directly to Amazon, whether it's through the site or that Kindle app or the Kindle device, okay, and getting ranking in that way. Jude says, do you need to have a website to use Google Ads? Keyword Planner, no, not at all, all right? You can actually skip that. If it asks you to put in your website, you can skip that. But pay attention for now, Jude, because I don't want you to miss anything. So do you see how powerful that is? Not only is your book ranking on the first page, first position, but first position, second position, and third position. You can buy that, right? And the reason why Google gives so much clout to Amazon is because Amazon, right, is a credible source. They're always adding new content. So does that make sense? Before I move on, I got a lot of incredible stuff I want to show you. But does that make sense before I move on? Just say yes, and then we will continue. All right. Yes, 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 yes. Look at the yeses are flying in here. Awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. So now, step one was, I hope you wrote these down, right? Use the Google Keyword Planner to find hot topics and to create your titles, right? Because those titles that you use are going to help you make more sales and to also get listed in Google. Step two is, well, actually, you know what? I'm jumping ahead of myself. Let me show you something that, this is actually something that once I started to notice the importance of titles and how well crafting your titles the right way can impact your sales, I started to work on something I call title enhancers. All right. And once I started to implement these into my account, I saw where my sales doubled and tripled. So after months of testing, what I found I found that simply adding the following elements to my titles can dramatically increase sales. So take a look at this. Get ready to write because I'm going to give you some of these title enhancers. I promised that I would over deliver on this thing, and I am aiming to do that. Title enhancers that double and triple sales. Because your title enhancers answer the questions that your ebook buyers are asking themselves in their head. Write that down. These things answer the questions that your ebook buyers are asking themselves in their head. All right. So here's a title enhancer, how to. So let me show you how these work. Let's say your competitor has a book titled Learn to Stay in Your Deck. And then your ebook is titled Stay in Your Deck Like a Professional. By simply adding the title enhancer, how to stay in your deck like a professional, okay, you now answer the questions that your ebook buyers are asking. They're subconsciously asking themselves these questions, right? Which one would stand out most to you? How to stay in your deck like a professional or learn to stay in your deck? Which one? The first one, says Derek. The first one, says Michael. The first one, says Audrey. Okay? All right, awesome. And right, and Simon, right, will my job look professional, right? So that immediately stands out. The other thing is, let me give you a scenario here. Let's say you've got a guy named Johnny, and Johnny has been promising his wife for the last year to stain the deck. He's never stained the deck before. He has no clue how to do this, but he knows there's got to be information out there. He goes to Amazon, he goes to Google, he types in how to stain a deck. How to stain a deck. Guess what pops up? Your ebook, whether it's on Amazon or Google. But all the while, he's sweating because his wife tells him that if you don't go out and stain this deck this weekend, you're sleeping on the couch for the next 4 weeks. So he's typing this in. How am I going to stain this deck? How am I going to stain this deck? How am I going to stain this deck? He comes across both of these titles. How to stain your deck like a professional and learn to stain your deck. Again, which one? After I've painted that picture, I hope you get it. Which one stands out the most? Right? How to stain your deck is always going to outsell learn to stain your deck because it's answering the question that your prospect is already asking himself or herself in their head. Does that make sense? Here's another title enhancer. Write these down, folks. Quickest way to, all right, adding that to your title. 21 quickest ways to make money online versus the guide to making money on the web. Which one will stand out? Right? We always want things quickly. We want to learn how to do things, right? We want to be shown. The fastest way to, right? That's another one. The fastest way to get your nursing degree versus Health Quad's nursing guide. All right? Does that make sense? Here's another one. Easy ways to, right? Quick and easy ways to lose weight. Okay, so tips to, the world's best kept tips to losing weight. We always want to learn how to do things. Keep this in mind. We want to learn the quickest ways, the fastest ways, right? The easiest ways. We want tips on how to do things. Right, so do you see why these title enhancers work so well? When I started implementing these into my titles for my how-to books, they doubled and tripled my sales. And I actually found this out while I was on vacation one day. I had implemented these the day before we flew out to Puerto Rico. I think it was, and someone was saying that they're from Puerto Rico. It was the day before we flew out to Puerto Rico for our 10th anniversary wedding vow renewal. Okay, Vanya, there it goes. Okay. I can't see the bottom of the screen, says Irma. Irma, what can you see? Can you see what it says tips to, the world's best kept tips to losing weight? That's what it says, the world's best kept tips to losing weight. Huh, Let me see if I can adjust that for you a bit. Not sure why you can't see it. Okay, so that's what it says. It says tips to, and then it says the world's best kept tips to losing weight. Okay, so does everyone have that? The world's best kept tips to losing weight. Okay, awesome. So I back to what I was saying. I had put these title enhancers in place the night before we actually flew out to Puerto Rico for our 10th anniversary wedding vow renewal. And I was limited on, my wife didn't want me to get on the internet much, right? Because here, can I share something with you guys really quickly? Well, let me finish this one story first before I get into another story. So I was limited in my internet access, and when I got back 7 days later, I saw where my sales had doubled and literally tripled for some of my books, and it was all because of these title enhancers. Now, let me get into the second story really quickly. I am compulsive about checking my sales. I get up 2 and 3 times a day in the middle of the night to check my sales, and I'm like, yes, there's another sale that came in. Yes, there's another sale. Because I can't. It tickles me to death that I'm making money while I'm sleeping. And it tickles me to death that I'm making money while I'm playing with my children, while I'm at the playground, while I'm at a student parent conference with my kids, while I'm on a field trip with my daughter, my 8-year-old. It tickles me to death that I'm making money right now while I'm speaking to you. I'm selling ebooks right now. This is a passive. So I'm just so bad at this. Like, I'm addicted to going in and checking my sales. I need some help. I really need to go in and join some type of a group. And I'm confessing this to you right now. So, don't go in and share this with anyone else. But this is what's going to happen to you. It's just incredible. It's an incredible, surreal feeling that when you put something together and people start to buy it, you're like, I can't believe people are buying something that was just created from my thought. It's just especially if you're used to getting paid time, dollar per hour. You put in 1 hour, you get paid for 1 hour. This is totally different. This is a passive income stream. You do the work one time, you get paid multiple times. I'm still making money from books that I published 5 years ago, nearly. To this day, 5 years later, I published books, and I'm still making money from those things. I'm still making money from books that I published last month, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. All right? So you do the work one time, you continue to make money. All right? Yes, Simon, you can always update your ebooks. So that's a good point. Simon, you've got some great questions. I love it. That's why I always say there's no such thing as a dumb question. All right, do you guys want to hear? Simon just said, would you pull them from sale and update them? So here's the thing. Because these are digital books, right, you can always update them. You want to make sure that your content is good, but you don't procrastinate. Get something up, and then keep in mind that because these are digital books, you can always go in and update them. All right, you can update 20 times a day if you want to. 20 times a day. All right? So that's a great question, Simon. All right. Now, going back to the title enhancers, here's how these things work when you're doing your keyword research. So I combined my idea, right? And it was garden. And then I put in the phrase how to. I'm going to see who really gets this, who's really going to be a mega ebook publisher, because this right here will tell me. Okay? And I combine these two. So I could put how to in front of the idea that I'm thinking about publishing an ebook for, and that is garden. And I hit search. And this actually has changed up a bit. And Google just updated this, so it's going to look a little bit different than what you see, but it works the same, exactly the same. They just made it look prettier. And after I hit search, guess what? Google says for your phrase, how to garden, look how many searches globally there are within the last 30 days. 45,500,000 to be exact. Isn't that incredible? Right? Because now is that will that work for us? Yes or no? Too competitive though, says Derek. No, because it is more than 100,000. Vanna got it. Absolutely. All right. Remember what I said. I said when you're doing this type of keyword research, you want to stay between 10,000 to 100,000. If you did not write that down, please write that down right now, because that is going to have a lot to do with the amount of success. Okay? Christina, write that down. All right? Now, you want to be between 10,000 to 100,000, Amanda. Okay? Hello from Iowa, says Brett. Brett, thanks for joining. All right? Now, here's the other thing. We've got two columns here. Which column do you want to pay attention to? Your global monthly searches or your local monthly searches? Locally, we got 20,400,000. That's still too big. But which one do we want to pay attention to? Ken, yes, you should. Hold on. Jude says local. Venna says global. Mike says global. Rachel says local. Oaf says global. Anna says globally. Simon says global. Amazon is global. David, thank you, sir. You got it right. You want to pay attention to the global column. Because of what David just said, Amazon is global. We're not limited to selling our books locally. We're not just selling them in Connecticut or North Carolina, where I'm at right now, right? Globally. Global. This is why this works, because you can. This is why I get sales at 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. Because while I'm sleeping, right, it might be 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning for me here in North Carolina, okay? But in the UK, they're on GMT time, and it might be 9 o'clock in the morning for them, and someone's up looking for ebooks to buy. They're about to jump on a plane, and they want some good reading material. They want a good romance novel, or they want a how-to book, right? So you always keep that in mind globally. I hope you guys have written that down. And ladies, write that down, please. All right, so now, luckily for us, thank you, Bendito, 2 a.m. Wow, that's dedication. I love that. That's dedication, okay? Now, luckily for us, what else does Google do? They say, okay, well, here's your keyword that you typed in. Here's your phrase. But here's also similar phrases that people are typing in. Here's other phrases, right? And they give us the global monthly search volume for these. How to make a garden, 201,000. How to design a garden, 550,000. How to build a raised garden bed, 12,000. How to plant a garden, 301,000. Which of these would be ideal? First, second, third, or fourth? First, second, third, or fourth. Just put in your number. First, second, third, or fourth. 3 says Brett. Third says Anna. Oaf says third. Derek says third. Bendito says 3. Fourth says Simon. 3 says Amanda. 3 says David. Third says Christina. Third says Vanya. Rachel. Third. Emma. 3. Derek says third because it's between 10,000 to 100,000. 3 says Ken. 3 says Derek. Absolutely. For several reasons. Right? This one right here will work. You guys got it. You got it. Okay. Absolutely. It says how to build a raised garden bed. There's 12,100 individuals that are searching for that information every single month, right? On average. And it probably increases during the spring and the summer, right? Or depending on where they're located. The other reason why this works so well is it has our title enhancer in it. The other reason why it works so well is it's niched. It's very specific. It's not talking about how to build a garden bed, right? But it's very specific, how to build a raised garden bed. The other reason why this works so well is the title is like, this is the perfect plug and play title, right? Think about this. If you had an ebook titled How to Build a Raised Garden Bed, wow, I'm just catching this too. This is awesome. I should have kept this one for myself because this is a moneymaker. But if you had an ebook titled How to Build a Raised Garden Bed, don't go sharing this. And if you've got 12,000 people a month searching for this, do you think you would be able to sell some? Yes or no? With 12,000 people? No, Deshaun, you don't have to worry about competition. Competition is a word that's not ever, all right, one that comes out of my mouth. And it shouldn't come out of your mouth, because once you know what I'm teaching you this, most people, 99.9% of the individuals that are publishing ebooks on Amazon have no clue about any of this stuff that I'm teaching you. They're doing it blindly. That's why they don't make any money, or that's why they only make a couple $100, right? So Anna says, yes, I could make money with this. Venda, yes. Bendito, yes. Brett, yes. Michael, yes. Michelle, yes. Rachel, okay. Says Amanda. Derek, yes. All right. So let's move on. You guys got it. Now, step 2, write this one down. After you do the research, you go in and you create the content. Now, I know there's some folks on here that are writers, right? You love writing. I think Anna said that. Joanne had said that. Michelle had said that. But then there's folks like myself who, we're not necessarily interested in writing, right? If you're a writer, just put yes. I want to see who's a writer, who's not a writer. If you're not a writer, put yes. Wait. If you're a writer, put number 1. If you're not a writer, put number 2. If you are a writer, put number 1. If you're not a writer, put number 2. I'm just curious here. All right, so awesome. All right, so it's pretty even. I love it. Great. All right, so we've got. All right, great. So I'm in that number 2 category because I'm not really a writer, right? 1 and 2 depending on topic. I write, but only had small things published. All right, cool. Number 1 says Ken. So in my preferred order, there are 3 very simple ways to get content to sell, and I've used all 3 of these, and all 3 are very easy to do, even if you are a newbie to all of this. Now, this does not matter. I want to just make sure that everyone understands this. You can do this no matter where on the planet you live. You can be in any country on the planet, and you'll see that when you sign up. All right, when you go to kdp.amazon and sign up, they accept every single country on the planet. Zimbabwe, Nigeria, Mexico, Brazil, the United Kingdom, Spain, Italy, Russia, is it the Soviet Union now, I guess, right? Sweden, Canada, Australia. I've got one of my top students is from Perth, Australia. He's doing about $20,000 a month right now, and I'm going to share that with you in a minute. So the first way is to get someone else to write it for you. All right. Now I use this option a lot, and I've paid as little as $50 to $100 to have people, actually $50 to $150 to have people write content for me. You own 100% of the rights to it, and you can resell this content as long and as often as you want. As I said earlier, I still have ebooks that I published 5 years ago that are still making me money. All right. You own 100% of the rights to it, and you can resell them as long and as often as you want. You can even put your name on it, or you can use a pen name. Okay, you can use a pen name if you want to. Some people ask me about pen names. Listen, if you're publishing content in different genres or different industries, you may want to use a pen name because you don't want to look like the jack of trades for every jack of all trade, right? And some of your most well-known writers use pen names. Guys like Tom Clancy has used pen names for years, right? Guys like Stephen King. Who knows Stephen King here, right? He's used pen names for years, right? That's not his real name. So look that up. It's totally within Amazon's terms of service to use a pen name. This course gives you the only 3 sites that you should use when you're looking to have someone write your content. Plus, I give you the exact wording to use when you're looking for someone to hire, okay? David says, how many words is it? 30 or 40 pages? There's about 450 to 500 words per page, David. Ken says, should you check that the content that was written for you was not copied by the writer? You know what? I have never had a problem with plagiarism. As a matter of fact, in my project description, I put that. I will not tolerate plagiarism. And I've hired dozens of writers over the last couple of years, and I have never had an issue. So that's a false fear. It's a very valid fear, but because I used to think about the same thing as well, but it's a very false fear. David, here, think about it in this way. The folks that you're hiring, right, they are former English teachers, they are college students, they are English majors, these are stay-at-home moms who love writing. They're passionate about writing. They don't, they're not going to go in and risk not having you hire them again by going in and copying something, right? Does that make sense? Right? When you hire someone, there's a good chance that they want to continue working with you. All right. So, and I use the same writers. When I get someone good, I use the same person over and over and over again. Does that make sense? I hope you got that. Okay. Ken, the other way to get your content is you can speak it. Okay, and then have it transcribed. So speech recognition software like Dragon, Naturally Speaking, or the free one that you'll find on most PCs. Okay, if you go down to like your search bar and then you hit speech recognition, okay, you'll see, yeah, Simon, absolutely. So I spend between 50 to 150 bucks. Now here's the thing also, because Simon brought up a good point. I found that when I was skeptical, when I was cynical, when I didn't believe things, that's when I had the most doubt. All right, so sometimes you just have to trust the system, and you'll be amazed at it. I actually had one of my students today that I was coaching right before I got on this call, and he just was praising me for, man, I wish I could pull up that email right now, but I can't. But he was just praising me for how well this works, and um, he says I was skeptical at first, but Ty, I'm on my third ebook, I'm making sales, and I'm doing amazing with this. So if you ever is just speaking, okay, and there's a free speech recognition software on your PC. I think Macs might have one as well. But if you go down here, you hit search and you type into speech recognition, you'll see it pop up. The third option is to write it yourself. Again, not my favorite, but if you're a writer, this would be the perfect option for you. My wife can write an ebook and she can write like 30 or 40 pages because she's just really prolific. She can write an ebook in 3 to 4 days. I have a friend, named Vandre, who's in South Carolina, and he can write an ebook in like 2 days. This guy's amazing. So if you can do that, if you can crank out 30 or 40 pages, then that's awesome. If not, if you're like me, then the first option is the way to go. All right. Step 3. So I hope you guys have written that down, ladies. I hope you wrote that down. Step 3, which is the last step, and this literally takes about 5 to 10 minutes to both create your Kindle Publishers account as well as add ebooks to it. Do you want me to show you how to do this? I want to. Hopefully, I can go out. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but you want to show me? You want me to show you where to go when you are create your first Amazon Kindle publishing account? Please, says Anna. Yes. Brett says Simon. Yes. Let's see what else. Who else do we have on here? Michael. Yes. Joanne. Yes. Rachel. Yes. Yes, please. So let me see if I can go here. Boom. So here's what you're gonna go. You're gonna go to kdp.amazon.com. Can you see that? kdp.amazon.com. David says I can see it. Awesome. Okay. If you can't, let me know. All right. This is actually my wife's account, so I don't want to go into her account for privacy reasons. Obviously, I hope you guys can understand that. Doesn't my wife have the most beautiful name, Melida? Let's see. So I'm gonna hit. This is where you would go. Okay, kdp.amazon.com, and you're going to see a yellow button here that says sign up. Now, they don't charge you to sign up. Why do you think they don't charge you? And look at, while you guys are putting that, yeah, you'll see it right in this area. You can't miss it. I forget what exactly it says, but it's a yellow button. Just click on that. So why do you think they don't charge you to sign up? And look at all of the different languages that they accept. English, Dutch, French, Spanish, Italian, Portuguese. You can actually publish your ebooks. And I think you asked earlier, you can publish your ebooks in multiple languages as well. All right. So let's look at the reasons what you guys have come up with. Oh man, and look at all of the different genres that you can publish. There's just literally hundreds: business and investing, comics and graphic novels, KDP for kids, literature and fiction, mystery, thriller, suspense, nonfiction, romance, teens and young adults. I mean, there's just a ton of stuff that you can publish here. All right, so the reason why they don't charge you to get started is because, as Simon says, they want your business. Okay, because Anna says you will make the money. Right. Remember, they only take 30%. You keep 70% because they're a genius, Amanda. Absolutely, absolutely. All right, Amanda, you touched on something extremely powerful. Right. I want to talk about that in a second, because when you get this, when I got that, I realized that the amount of money that I can make with this thing is unlimited. Because you're making money for them, says Off. Because they are going to make money off of you, says Christina. Deshaun, I'll give you that in a second. They make money off of your books, says Courtney, because they will make more money by selling books than selling fees, says Brett. Brilliant group. You know, Brilliant group. I was told that you guys are smart, and it's absolutely true. Now, Amazon wants you to make as much money as possible. And the reason why they want you to make as much money as possible is because the more money you make, the more money they make. How many people remember when Amazon first got started, what was their initial goal? When Amazon.com first got started, before they started selling toasters and refrigerators and vitamins and all of this other stuff, what was their initial goal? Amanda says to sell print. What else? What else? Yep, good answer. There's multiple answers here. What was their initial goal? Michael says to sell books. Amanda says to become a portal. Maria says to sell books. Christina says to be a niche market. All great answers. Brett says to be the biggest electronic book distributor in the world. Bam! There you go, Brett. Brett hit it right on the head. Okay, they wanted to become the world's largest bookstore. Do you remember that? Right? Their goal was to become the world's largest bookstore. And they had competition like Barnes & Nobles, who they are knocking out the box right now. You're lucky if you can even find the Barnes & Nobles. They had competition like Books A Millions. And then they had, what are the stores, the largest stores over in the UK, in Europe? I forget. I always forget. We were out in Harrods a couple of weeks ago. Harrods, the huge store. Waterstones, there you go. Thank you, Damien. So they had competition like all of these stores, right? La Casa del Libro. And then they had independent mom and pop bookstores as well. And they said, you know, in order for us to become the world's largest bookstore, we're not going to be able to do it by just publishing the books that are available to everyone else. So they came up with the brilliant idea of making this KDP, this Kindle Direct Publishing platform, available to everyone on the planet. And they said, if you have an ebook that you want to sell and that you want to get in front of a global marketplace, bring it over to Amazon.com. How brilliant was that? And by being able to do that, they instantly was able to get much more content and to provide much more content to their customers. So do you get that? So they instantly, by opening this platform to regular folks like you and I, and by making it global so that anyone, no matter where on the planet you are right now, you can still come over to Kindle Direct Publishing or kdp.amazon.com and publish your ebooks, right? They created a self-publishing landslide, as Amanda just said. All right, so I hope you got that. I want to go back into the presentation here. So that last step, step 3, is to go in, and again, it takes about 5 minutes to both create your Kindle Publishers account as well as add ebooks to it. So Amazon has made the entire process extremely easy. They've made it cost-free, and they've done that because, again, they want your content. No, you don't need, Bendito, you don't need ISBN numbers. These are digital ebooks. All right, great questions. I love the questions that you folks are coming up with. Do me a favor, come up with more questions. All right. Let's see. Someone else had asked me, what are the 3 sites that I hire outsourcers from to write my content? So they're in this preferred order. Upwork.com, who used to be Odesk, they're now Upwork.com, Guru.com, Guru.com, and Elance.com. All right, so those are the 3 sites that I hire. Okay, how many pages? Hank, I covered that before, but I'll give it to you again, 30 to 50 pages. And why does 30 to 50 pages work so well? Okay, Amanda, great question again about Audible. Yes. So here's what I do. And I, you know, we're limited on time, so there's just so much I can share with you on this webinar. Guys, I literally have dozens of things that I want to share with you right now. But as you guys are coming up with these questions, you're jogging my memory on some of the stuff. So, and it says no limit on time. Brett, I did cover the price points, $299 to $499, and I want to continue, and then I'm gonna go back and answer these questions. So pop in all your questions. Let's keep going. I'm gonna answer every single question, I promise you. All right, every single question I'm going to answer. Type them in right now. All right, so no problem, Brett. Brett, ask your questions. You might have missed. I said there's no such thing as a dumb question, so type them in, baby. All right, now, once you go in and you publish it on kdp.amazon.com, your book is now published on amazon.com globally. It's published on their French site, their English site, their US site, their Canadian site, their Spanish site, right? And it's up and it's ready for sale. Now, let me ask you a question. Why do you think it's so easy to sell ebooks on Amazon once you know some of the stuff that I'm teaching you now, as well as all of the stuff that I'm going to teach you in the course, right? Because you guys are adults, you know that I'm going to show you a course that is going to be presented as well, right? The reason why is because Amazon just does so much to help you to sell your books. They make it easy, right? They've got like these buy now with one click buttons. How many people have ever used that, right? You see something or someone tells you about a good book. Anna, you might tell me about a good book, or, Brett might tell me about a good book. And what do? I go in and I click that, right? I want to instantly go in and get that ebook. So I'll go in and download it, right? So they make impulsive buying extremely easy. It's dangerous, says David. Absolutely. Dude, David, I've got probably about 80 books right now. I don't have a Kindle device. Don't go tell Amazon this. How crazy is that, right? I'm making tens of thousands of dollars a month publishing content to Amazon, but I don't have a Kindle. You don't need a Kindle to do this. But I do have my iPhone 6, and I do have an iPad, and I do have the Kindle application that I use to go in and buy and download ebooks, right? And I've got about 80 books, man, that I have yet to read, right? I've got about, I try to read a book a week, okay, a book a week. Sometimes I get to about a book and a half. I listen to at least 2 or 3 audiobooks a week. But the other reason why, in addition to having these buy now with one click buttons, but the other reason why your ebook sells so well is because Amazon has over 500 million credit card numbers on file. They have my credit card. I have about 4 different credit cards on file with Amazon. Who else has a credit card on file with Amazon? I just want to show everyone right now how many credit cards Amazon has on file. So if you've ever purchased from Amazon, just put yes in here, because I just want to show you how powerful this is using this platform. Simon says yes. Michelle says yes. Anna says yes. Christina says me. Rachel says me. Willette says me. Bendito, me. Oaf says me. Rachel, me. Sandy says yes. Michael says yes. Michelle, Jude, I do. I have a few on file. David, you like me. Rhonda says yes. Reggie says yes. I have 2, says Venna. You see that? Look at that. Brett says yes. O says yes. David, yes. Sharonage, I hope I got that right, says yes. Maria says yes. So do you see that? I mean, and the yeses are just continuing to fly in. All right. So there's 500 million plus credit cards that are on file. The other thing is, have you ever noticed when you purchase something from Amazon, they'll do multiple things to try to get you to buy even more? So they'll say people who purchase this item also purchase this item. And oftentimes that other item will be your ebook. So if someone buys, let's say if you have an ebook that you're selling that is a sci-fi novel, or it's a thriller, or it's a how-to book, right? How to lose weight, or it's a book that talks about personal development. And someone has just purchased a book that's similar to yours. Amazon will show them other books. In many cases, your book can be one of those other books that are similar to what they just purchased. Amazon will also send out emails that show people who have purchased a book that's similar to yours in genre or in topic, right? Your ebook. So they do everything they can to get as many sales as possible for you, because, again, the more money you make, the more money they make. All right. Now, how many books do you need, right? Using the system that I've created, where you go in and you do the research, you put together the titles and descriptions using the elements that I gave you, and you put together those price points that I gave you. All right. This equals money in the bank. On average, you'll see about $500 in sales per book. Now, I have a lot of ebooks that are doing a lot more than this per month. I've got students that are making a lot more than this per book. And then you'll also see some ebooks that make less than this, right? But on average, this is what it comes out to. Okay, so that's why I say when you get one of these things going, don't just stop at one ebook. Why would you do that, right? Like, one of these things could be a car payment on a gorgeous vehicle. All right, 2 or 3 of them could be, 4 of them, 5 of them could be a mortgage payment on a huge house, right? This could be college loans that are paid off, Or if you have children like we do, we've got two that are going to college at the same time, this could help with that. All right. Imagine having 5, 10, or 20 ebooks all bringing in a monthly income. Or if your ebook sold 200, 500, 1,000 copies instead of 100, right? Think about that. So this is a system where you do the work once and your ebook sell for months and years to come. It's like a residual income that pays you over and over and over again. So what makes this different is that it grows month after month. I asked this question at the very beginning, and I think, Brett, you might have missed it. A few other people might have missed it. But what makes this different is that this system grows month after month after month. Here's the proof. Where one of my first checks from Amazon was in the amount of $2,297.30. And then the next month, without me doing any additional work, without me publishing any additional ebooks, I went up to $2,873.13. I saw a 25%, $600 increase. And at this point, that's when I started to publish more books. And then I went to $4,462.53, and then up to $8,403.84 the next month, and then eventually to $30,000 in sales in 1 month within a 1 year period. And now I'm doing between $40,000 and $50,000 a month. All right? And it's all because Amazon has made this entire system easy for you. So how much money do you need to make a difference in your life? Would it be an extra? I want to ask this question right now. Be honest with yourself. Put it in the chat box here. How much money do you need to make a difference in your life? Would it be an extra $500 a month, an extra $1,000 a month, an extra $2,000 a month? Usually it's well, I don't want to give it away. Amanda says $40,000 a month. Big dreams, Amanda. Hey, that's a beautiful thing. Nothing wrong with that. $5,000, $500, okay, $5,000 or more, $2,000, $10,000. This is sounding really. We know what money it is. $500 is enough, but at least $1,000 to $2,000 to be with no job. $10,000 a month. Hank, I can't even remember, to be honest with you. It's been a while. So to make a good difference, 3,000. That's about, the average is about 1,000 to 3,000 for most people to make a difference, right? Okay. All right. Absolutely. So how could something like this change your life? What would you do with the extra income? Would you put it towards your kids' future, which is what we're doing now? Would you use it to pay off your mortgage, which we've done, right? Would you use it to buy a house or buy your dream car? When I first got started, I bought my wife a Mercedes-Benz, and I had the dealership put a nice red bow on it, okay? And I pulled it up. It was her Christmas present. I think it was her Christmas present or her birthday present. I can't remember what it was. But it was because Amazon paid for this thing. Would you use it to pay off your bills, get out of debt, to travel? All right? As I mentioned before, we just take a tremendous amount of vacations. We travel the globe, all right, with our children. Donate to charities. As I shared at the very beginning, I have sickle cell anemia, so one of the things that I'm passionate about is donating to charities. I've donated a ton of money to this National Sickle Cell Anemia Association. My wife has a cousin that was born with a heart defect and needed a heart replacement. So we've donated money to various organizations that help children. I donate money every month to Children's Miracle Network. All right? So the possibilities are endless. There's so much that you can do with this. Now, let me ask you a question here. For the past hour, would you agree it's been time well spent? And I want to get into a lot of questions here. I want to answer every single question, as you said. But just tell me, would you agree that it's been time well spent? What do you think? All right? Because I promised that I would deliver as much as possible in the time allotted, okay? And, of course, you betcha. Yes, so good. Thank you so much. Yes, it really has. I had great relations with in the past. I like that. I like how you put that, David. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. Top 3 best webinar I've ever been to. Thank you, Amanda. Wow. Amazing. Of course, I appreciate your interaction, says Brett. Awesome. Brett, I appreciate you spending here. I feel motivated, says Christina. Yes, says Paula. I love you, says Anna. Whoa, my wife is going to get you for that one. But I appreciate it. Awesome. Great. I love, someone says I appreciate the interaction. It was Brett. And you know what? What I appreciate is you get on, sometimes you do a webinar, and I don't do these often. I do them because I don't have to. I prefer to spend my time just putting up more ebooks and hanging out, chilling out with my children. As a matter of fact, I never was, just really quickly, right? I was never going to even put this course together, to be honest with you. I never was going to put this together because I felt I didn't have a need to, because I was just making money and just doing really well with it without having, I'm changing. I used to be a very introverted person. So I don't want to say I'm an introvert right now, but I used to be a very introverted person, and I felt I'm doing so well with this, I don't need to share it with anyone. I don't, why do I do that? But I had some very influential people in my life said, Ty, you have something that's working. There's a lot of garbage that's out there. People need to know about what it is that you're doing. And after about a year of these three individuals, some highly respected individuals in the online community, that I had shared this system with one-on-one, and I had coached their wives and coached them. They said, you should put this together, and I actually did. All right, and it's been the best thing ever because I love getting the feedback. I love being able to help people. Like I said, we have a Facebook group with over 600 people that are doing well and getting a ton of results, and I want you to be part of that Facebook group, okay? So you guys all agreed that within the last hour, this has been time well spent. Now, you also know that, we can't cover everything that I have to give you in a single presentation. There's just a lot, and a lot of the stuff, I want to share with the most serious people, okay? So what I've done is I've put together a special offer so you can get everything you need to know. And this works for both fiction and nonfiction, all right? And if you act fast enough, I'm going to give you a very special deal. It works no matter where you are. You can be in any country on the planet and you can do this, all right? It works if you're a beginner or if you're a newbie. It works if you're a writer or someone like myself who does not write. All right. So is it okay if I help you and if I share this entire system with you? All right. Is that cool? Yes. Awesome. Yes, please do. Yes, I want to see it. All right. Yes, please. Yes. Great. Okay. So please do, says all. All right. So one of the things that, as I got to start to understand personal development more and more, as I shared with you at the beginning of this webinar, reading that Les Brown book changed my life, right? One of the things I realized is that old habits die hard, okay? And, I've been to seminars before, and I've attended webinars before, like a lot of you, and I realized that there was something that in me where I would get very hype and I would be motivated at the seminar or during the webinar, but once it ended, no matter how good the system was, and I'm a firm believer, I'm the total optimist, and I've proven it time after time after time now that almost any system will work if you work it. I used to be very pessimistic. I used to be very optimistic. I used to be very cynical. And once I got out of those trains of thoughts and changed my mindset, I realized that it's up to me to make these things work, and everything could work. But I realized that old habits die hard, and as soon as you leave this webinar, just like as soon as I used to leave webinars before, I would go back to my everyday, day-to-day routine. Life would take over. Okay? All right? Yes, Irma, that's correct. So my special offer is I put together this entire package. It's called the Kindle Cash Flow System. And this is the entire package here, all right? The entire package. It's a physical course. Actually, I'm sorry. You can get this entire package right here. And you'll see where you've got the videos here, you've got the booklets, you've got everything. So you get to see exactly what I do, how I do it, and why I do it. You get to look over my shoulder, you see the results that I get, and you get to literally sit in front of my computer because you'll be watching what happens on my screen as I go through all of these different processes and how I publish my ebooks. All right? And this is firsthand. No one has ever done anything like this. So what you'll get in this system is you'll get what I call the setup. And this is a $997 value. And this is, it goes over everything that you should do to properly set up your account, how to get quickly started so that you're not wasting time, what not to do so that you don't get banned, okay? You'll also get the Kindling for Profits module, which is a $1,497 value. And this shows you how to find the right niche and the right readers. I showed you how to use the Google Keyword Finder tool. In this module, I show you how to go in and do more research as well so that you can find niches that sell and readers that buy. And this works for both fiction and nonfiction. I also give you the buyer magnet model, which is a $2,997 value. And this includes the critical must-have elements that will make your ebook sell. We cover pricing, descriptions, reviews, and then I also give you the KDP cache extraction module, which is a $3,500 value. And in this module, I talk about the secret ways to use the Kindle Direct Publishing platform to make more money than most people ever will, because most people don't know a quarter of what I just taught you on this webinar. And most people never will understand or get to peek into the inside workings of a business like mine that does $40,000 to $50,000 a month publishing ebooks. Now, the total value of everything you're going to get is $8,991, right? $8,991. Now, with this, I had two choices. And I want you to stay with me because I want to have a very intensive Q&A session. I want to answer every single question that you had. But while I was putting this together, I had two choices. Number one was, the first option was to go cheap as possible and try to sell as many units as possible. But that wouldn't incentivize me to really stack the value on for you. You know, I don't really need the money. I'll take the money, but I don't need the money. But for this event only, I want really inexpensive. Okay. The second option was, this one requires a little higher investment, but in exchange, I'm able to devote more resources to guarantee that you succeed with this. No one does this. And because I've tried so many different programs when I was trying to first make money, and I saw so many different disappointments, I said, you know what? I'm going to do something that is going to guarantee that whoever takes my program, takes my course, number one, they're never going to be left alone because you're always going to be able to interact with me. You're always going to be able to interact with my students that are getting results already. Some of them are have been doing this for months and years already, and some of them are just like you. They're just starting out. All right. The other thing is, I wanted to make sure that you're never left alone. The worst feeling is to be able to get something and then you feel like you're on your own. Right? We were talking about being able to do this from multiple countries, right? And I said you can do this from any country, no matter where you're at. Here's one of my top students. He's in Perth, Australia. His name is Darren DeVry. Darren's about 65 years old. All right? And this guy is amazing because remember I talked about, you can have someone that's a total idiot. And one of the most frustrating things is to see someone that's dumber than you make more money than you. You can't understand that. Now, Darren's not dumb, but he's an average guy, right? He used to work in coal mines or something like that. I forget what he used to do, but it was a very manual labor job. And then he got this course after getting laid off. And he sent me this testimony. He says, Ty, over the last year, I've continued to follow the Kindle cash flow system, and I'm now doing $20,000 per month in sales. All he did was follow the system. That's it. So what you'll get again is, because a few people just asked me, is you'll get the setup, which is a $997 value. This talks about setting up your account the proper way so you don't make mistakes. You want to do this the right way. And I wasn't able to cover this on the webinar, but in the course I go over this in detail. I'll show you how to get started quickly. I'll show you what not to do so you don't get banned, right? I also give you the Kindling for Profits net module, which is a $1,497 value. And in this module, we talk about finding the right niche and readers, niches that sell and people that buy, right? And then I also give you the buyer magnet module, which is a $2,997 value. And this includes the critical must-have elements that will make your ebook sell. We talk about covers. I go into more detail. I talk about pricing. We go into more detail. We talk about testing, titles. I talk about descriptions, how to write out your descriptions. I talk about your reviews, right? And how to get reviews. All right. So all of the stuff that I wasn't really able to go into detail on this webinar, I really cram it in. I also talk about the KDP cache extraction module, which is a $3,500 value. And in this module, I talk about the secret ways to use the Kindle Direct Publishing platform to make more money than most people ever will. Again, the total value is $8,991. Now, I'm going to give you some bonuses here, but they're very limited. We've got hundreds of people on here, so I have to limit these bonuses because they actually cost me extra money here. But I wanted to do something special for this group because I promised that I would do something, okay? So the first bonus I'm going to give you is the Google Kindle Crunch bonus. Now, this is going to go out to the first 30 people that get on board. And you're going to be surprised at how inexpensive this course is, okay? In this module, I talk about getting your ebook listed in Google and how you can increase your sales big time. This is where 30% of my sales come from, okay? 30% of my sales come from this. And me being able to do this the right way. Now, do you remember earlier in the presentation where I talked about being able to get your ebooks listed in Google and how that can account for a huge number of extra sales for you? Well, again, this accounts for 30% of my sales. And this is a $1,997 value. And it's going to go out to the first 30 people that get on board right now. And again, you'll be surprised at how inexpensive this course is. So stay on board. And then stay on board because we're going to have a really intensive Q&A session. I'm going to answer every single question. The second bonus that's going to go out to the first 20 people, because I want to reward fast action takers. You know, one of the things that I learned is that the universe loves speed. So the quicker you act on something, the quicker you act on an impulse, an idea, the better results you'll have with it. Right? And this is the money multiplicity module. And in this module, I talk about how to publish the same content to the Barnes & Noble's Nook Press platform and the Apple's iBooks platform. So you're actually tripling your ebooks exposure. Now, this I love right here. All right? That's why I can only give it out to the first 20 people, because the beautiful thing about this is when you get your ebook back, whether you write it or you outsource it, you can now, using this module, not only publish it to the Amazon Kindle platform, but you can also publish it to the Barnes & Noble's Nook Press platform and the Apple's iBookstore platform, and essentially tripling your exposure and also tripling your sales. So that's I really love this right here, okay? And I spent a lot of time putting this together. So because of the value of this thing right here, it's only going to go out to the first 20 people of that order. And again, this is the Kindle cash flow system here. And if all this did, I want to ask you a question right here before I give you the special low price and the URL to go in and get on board with it. If all this did was to finally allow you to generate a consistent hands-free passive income every month, would it be worth it? Right? I want to ask you that question right there. Right? If all it did was, yes, says Michael, yes. I want two of that, says Bendito. Yes, if I can afford it, says Simon. Yes, you'll absolutely be able to afford it, Simon. You're going to be surprised at how inexpensive this thing is, especially for the value. Yes, it would definitely be worth it. Now, the next question I want to ask you is, if this gave you the kick in the butt to finally get you moving and making money, would it be worth it? How many times have you said, I want to do something different, I deserve more? Every single person on here deserves more, right? Yes, absolutely, yes. Okay, now the third question is, if this gave you 2 to 3 ebooks that each brought in $500 per month to pay a bill or to save, would it be worth it? And the yeses are flying in. Absolutely, you folks get it. I love it. All right, so it would totally be worth it. Right? Now, if you got to the point where, like my student Darren DeVry, you're making $20,000 a month, would it make sense to pay $5,000 for something like this? Absolutely. Now, it's not going to cost you $5,000, but I just want to put things in perspective for you. Right? Because he's doing $20,000 a month. So even if he paid like $5,000 for something like this, it would still be worth it, because every sale after that month is pure profit, right? Does that make sense? Okay. Now, so you can see why it's a good deal at $5,000. And usually this is sold for, because as I said, I don't do this much. I prefer to just sit back and make money publishing ebooks to Amazon. So when I get a special favor, like the one I got today, where he said, can you come out and present this to my group because they should really see this. When I do present it, I sell it for $2,000, $1,997 for the general public. But because you are at this event, okay, and because I'm such a good friend with the host that invited you here, I'm not going to sell it for that amount because I want you folks to get into this. I've been blessed with just an amazing abundance of income using this system, and I think it's just my duty to be able to share it. So you can get started right now for less than you think, okay? And I didn't put the price because I want you to be surprised at how cheaply you can get in on this. Right? If you go over to kcf2.com/start, you'll be able to get in, and I'll put that URL into the questions box also. And this is all lowercase, okay? All lowercase. So it's kcf2.com/start. You're going to be surprised at how cheaply you can get in on this and how you can get started right now. Now, here's an extra special bonus right here. This is only going out to 5 people, all right? The first 5 people that tell me that they are in. Once you go in, you get your order in, and put just in the questions box or in the chat box, just type in, I'm in, okay, and put your name in there. Okay, so I can make a notation. I'm writing down the first 5 names. You're going to get all of the bonuses that I mentioned, okay? But you'll also get your own virtual assistant. And this is actually, you're gonna be able to get this person for 40 hours. And this person can help you with researching your topics, coming up with title ideas, writing out descriptions, communicating with your writer, or anything else you can think of. Even working on some of your other businesses that are online, okay? So let's see. The first 5 people only. We've got Bendito. Bendito, you're fast. He says, I'm in. Ulf says, already brought. Simon says, I'm in. Okay, let's see here. Now, this bonus is, again, for the first 5 people, only because it cost me money. This cost me about $600, to be honest with you. But, again, it's so hard for me to say no to someone, right? So when I was asked to come in and do this webinar, and they said, can you over deliver because we have a very special group? And I said, yes, I'm going to do something that's going to really blow their socks off and that no one else is going to show them because this is something that works, right? So I put this together. Now, because I think, right, Amanda says I already paid. Michael says I'm in. Oh my God. So we got a problem here. I'm in, Simon. I'm in, says Paula. Rachel is placing my order now. Okay. So here, what I'm going to do, it looks like we have, oh my God. We've got 5 people in already. I'm going to see if I could let a few more people in. I can't promise you anything, but just hold on, all right? If you're on the fence, just go get your order in. Amanda says she paid already. Okay, great. So I have the first 5 already. I've written those down. I'm going to see if I can give that bonus as well as all of the other bonuses to a few more people. Just hold on for a second, okay? Go in and place your order right now. That's going to be the most assured way to make sure that, you know what? Let me just do this. Because everyone is so, Luann says I'm in. Jason says I'm in. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to triple it. I'm going to let the next 5 people that are watching, not 5. I'm going to let 15 people in total. I'm sorry, I can't do any more than that. All right, because it cost me for that virtual assistant. So we've got 5 people in already. The next 10 people that get in, you're also going to get that virtual assistant. So what you'll get again is you'll get everything that I'm going to mention, including the other bonuses. So go in. Luann says she's in. Jason, I'm in. All right. The setup, which is a $997 value. Setting up your account, how to get started quickly, what not to do so you don't get banned. Says I completed payment. Okay, great. So go in as I'm speaking, complete your order. Let me put the URL in again. It's over at kcf2.com/start. So don't wait for me to finish speaking because you might lose out on your place, and I don't want that to happen for anyone, okay? Kindling for Profits, which is a $1,497 value, and that's finding the right niche and readers, niches that sell and readers that buy. Okay, niches that sell and readers that buy, right? And then you'll also get the buyer magnet, which is a $2,997 value. Okay. Amanda says, am I in the top 15? This was great content. Thank you so much. Yes, Amanda, I wrote your name down as one of the top. You were actually in the top 5, Amanda. So congratulations to you for being an action taker. You are in. All right. You'll also get the buyer magnet, which is a $2,997 value. This covers the critical must-have elements that will make your ebook sell. We talk about your cover, your pricing, your descriptions. What else? We talk about the reviews and how to get all of that stuff and how to make this dynamic. We talk about the KDP cash extraction. You'll also get that. You'll get that module as well. Okay. And then this module, which is a $3,500 value. Amanda, you rock as well. She says, thank you. You rock. I love that. This is what I like. This is why I do this. All right. You'll get the secret ways to use the Kindle Direct Publishing platform to make more money than most people ever will. Okay. Absolutely. I want you to go in and ask your questions. Ask your questions, Ulf. Ulf says, can we still ask questions? Yes. Remember, we're going to have a Q&A session at the end. So ask your questions. I'm going to answer every single question that came in. Okay. Let's see. Can you say after how long can you expect to start making money doing this? It totally depends on you, David. I see people start within about 5 to 6 weeks. Okay. Bonus number 1, you'll get the Google Kindle Crunch, right? Which will show you how to go in and increase your sales. Okay. And that's a $1,997 value. Everyone that has ordered is going to get that bonus. And if you haven't ordered, go in and place your order right now because we're going to have a Q&A session and then we're going to be closing out. The second bonus that you're also going to get is bonus number 2, the money multiplicity bonus. Remember, this will also show you how to take the same ebook and also publish it to the Barnes & Noble's Nook platform and the Apple iPad platform. Okay, so you'll get that as well. Then you'll also get the third bonus, which is your own virtual assistant for 40 hours. And again, we're coming low. I had to increase that to, it was the first 5, but I just increased it to the first 15. We just have a few more slots available. So if you want to get in right now, be sure to get in so that you can get that bonus as well. And that will be your own virtual assistant for 40 hours. Okay. Now, the total value of all of the bonuses comes up to $12,585. And right now you can get in for less than you think at kcf2.com/start. kcf2.com/start. And let me put that link. Okay. All right. So let's see here. Now, disposable income. Let's talk about disposable income here. All right. How many people are familiar with Rich Dad, Poor Dad? Author Robert Kiyosaki. All right. Robert Kiyosaki says poor people spend money on liabilities and rich people spend money on assets. All right. Poor people spend money on liabilities. Rich people spend money on assets. One of the things that was one of the biggest pivotal points for me was when I learned that either you can have money or excuses, but you can't have both. You can't say this won't work for me or I can't afford it. Money or excuses, but you can't have both. Money is just a tool. All right? Money is just a tool. When you want something bad enough, you always be able to get it. All right? Think about it. How many times have you been in the gym and you've been able to get it? Right? So you have 2 choices right now. The first option is to do nothing and not take this leap of faith, which is 100% risk-free. Right? Or you have the second option, which is to pony up this small, tiny investment today compared to all of the value you'll receive in return and just give it a shot. Okay? And just give it a shot. That's where you want to be. Okay? You have nothing to lose. If it works, great. And if not, just ask for your money back and you'll get it. This comes with a complete money-back guarantee. Okay? Comes with a complete money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. And here's what I'm going to do even better, right? So remember I said that I want to guarantee that you're successful at this. So what I'm going to do is I put together my 3-part crazy guarantee. The first part is research. If you can't find a hot topic to create your first ebook around, I will personally help you get started. All right? I will personally help you get started. If you can't find a hot topic to create your first ebook around, I will personally help you get started. Outsourcing. If you can't find someone to write your ebooks for you, I will give you access to one of my best writers who will write your first ebook for under $100. Right? Doesn't get any more guaranteed than this, folks. Sales. If after 60 days you're not making at least $500 per ebook, I will have one of my top coaches jump on a call with you to help kickstart your sales. All right? To help kickstart your sales. I want you to take a look at those guarantees. Again, no one does this. All right? No one does this. Simon says that's a guarantee. Wow, says Ulf. All right? Okay? No, no, Amanda, that's not 5 to 7 weeks. Someone was asking me how long can they expect this before they see results. That's what that question was for. Yes, and that price is for all. That's correct. All right, so the price that you see when you visit the site is for everything. All of the bonuses. So here's my 30-day guarantee. Sign up today, and if you don't like it for any reason, I don't care if it's 29 days, 23 hours, and 59 minutes from now, just let me know, and we'll give you your money back. Okay? You'll get your money back. All right? So, again, I don't need the money. I'll take the money, but I don't need it. You can get started now at kcf2.com/start. Now, think about this. With other opportunities, it can take you 3 to 5 years to get your initial investment back, right? Think about that. If you were to go in and buy a franchise, number one, it would cost you a lot more. And it would take you a lot longer to see your investment back. With this, you get 5 times back with the first couple of ebooks you publish. Okay? First couple of ebooks you publish. Right? Now, here's my favorite here. I like to call this the tale of two people. Right? You've got Timid Tommy and you've got Brave Bob. Right? Timid Tommy is the guy who, again, is always skeptical. He's always doubtful of what's possible for him or her. He's always cynical. He's always the skeptic. And he always says, I can't do this wouldn't work, or this person's smarter than me, that's why they can get it to work, or this person might have resources. That's crap. If you were here from the very beginning and you saw my story and you saw the obstacles that I went through, and if you know me, then you know that if I can do this, all right, without a college degree, with barely making it, I failed my junior year in high school twice. All right, if I can do this, I failed English 101 twice. You can do this. Then we have Brave Bob. Brave Bob is the person that makes things happen. He knows that it's going to happen for him. He says, I'm going to make this work without a doubt. All right? He's going to make it work without a doubt. All right? This reminds me of a story that, how many people have ever heard the story of the visitor that went down to hell? Like heaven and hell. So he went down to hell to visit with the devil, and the devil's showing him around, and he's showing him all of the different tools that he uses to create, just these lifestyles of hell for people. And that is, like drugs and alcohol and, adultery and just all types of things, lack of self-confidence. And the devil's showing this visitor all of the different tools that he uses to create self-doubt. And he eventually takes him, he points to this room that's way in the back, and he says, you know what, come back here with me, I want to show you something. And they go through this door, and in the door there's a single podium. It's sitting there by itself in the middle of a room, and it's got the spotlight on it. And the devil says, this is my most prized possession. This right here allows me to ruin more lives than anything else. This allows me to keep more people from their true potential than anything else. And the visitor looks at it, and it's a wedge. It's a wedge, and it's underneath this glass case. And the visitor looks at it, and the visitor says, yeah, I don't get it. It looks like it's just a regular wedge. And the devil says, this right here is the wedge of self-doubt. He says, this is the wedge of self-doubt. He says, if I can just take this thing and wedge it into the back of someone's brain, then I can create this gap between what's possible for them, what's truly possible for them, and what they think and what they think is possible. He says, I can create this doubt, and I can create these lifestyles of hell. Every single person that's watching this deserves so much more. All right? So much more than the lifestyle that you're currently living. All right? So you have to understand that, self-doubt is the biggest killer of dreams than anything. And I don't want to turn this into a personal development webinar, but that's what this is. All right. Once you realize your true potential, all right, every single person that's watching this, you saw where I came from. You saw where my life expectancy, there was nothing expected of me. All right. I'm no better than any single person that's watching this. All right. So let me show you what to do next. You're going to go over to kcf2.com/start, kcf2.com/start. All right. And then this is going to be the order page. You'll see the order page. You'll see all of the bonuses that are on there. Okay. You'll know if you're in the first 15 because you'll still see the virtual assistant bonus that's there. Okay. And then if you're in the first 20, once these are gone, this will disappear. It's a dynamic order page. So once the first 15 orders have come in, I just had my assistant change that to 15. So, and then once the first 20 orders are gone, this is going to disappear. And then once the first 30 are gone, and then you'll be able to get this. But if you get in right now, you'll be able to get every single thing on here. So as long as you see everything on this order page, you'll get everything that's on there. So you want to go in now. And this is where you're going to go in. You'll fill in your first name, your last name, your email address, your phone number, and then your billing address and things like that. All right. I'm going to have a Q&A, so stay on. We're going to answer every single question, okay? Every single question. Even if you did not buy, I still want to make sure. I want to appreciate your time that you spent, and I want to answer every single question, okay? So then you'll go in, you'll add your credit card number here and everything else, and then you'll click buy. All right, this is the entire course that you'll get. And, all right, again, just one last time before I go into the Q&A, let me cover everything that you'll get. You'll get the setup module, which is a $997 value. And this covers setting up your account, how to get started quickly, what not to do so that you don't get banned, okay? What else is here? We also cover the Kindling for Profits module, which is a $1,497 value. Oh, and I have something special, extra special for all the buyers. I didn't cover this yet. I want to show you how to access I want to show you something special. Just hold on. All right. Finding the right niche and readers. We cover that. Niches that sell and readers that buy. And then we have the Buyer Magnet module, which is a $2,997 value. And this covers the critical must-have elements that will make your ebook sell. It covers the cover, the pricing, the descriptions, the reviews. And then we have the KDP Cash Extraction module, which is a $3,500 value. And in this module, I talk about the secret ways to use the Kindle Direct Publishing platform to make more money than most people ever will with this, because they just don't know what you know, right? Again, that's why we never fear competition. With this creates an instant cash flow. And then you'll also get the bonuses. If you're one of the first 30 to get in, you'll get the Google Kindle Crunch bonus, which, as I shared with you at just a few minutes ago, this accounts for 30% of my sales. So you want this bonus, right? So you want to be in the top 30. This is a $1,997 value. If you're one of the first 20 to order, all right, you'll also get bonus number 2, which is the Money Multiplicity bonus. And this shows you how to go in and use the same ebook and publish that ebook to the Barnes & Noble's Nook platform as well as the Apple iBookstore platform, okay? And this is the third bonus. Lastly, if you're in the top 15, you're one of the first 15, go in and put your name into make sure, if you've already purchased, make sure you put your name into the questions box, because I want to make sure that those first 15 individuals are getting this assistant here, all right? And you'll get her for 40 hours. And again, this person can help you with any business that you already have. They can help you with doing research. They can help you with publishing your ebooks. This is so valuable, all right? And you want this, okay? So it's a real life value. So the total value is $12,585. And now, this is what I wanted to share. This is my pride and joy right here, all right? Because this is where I get to interact with you. You also get to interact with some of our other coaches. You get to interact with some of our other students. And this is access to our private Facebook group. This is a private group, and it's only for Kindle Cashflow students, okay? In this group, like I said, we have over 600 people, and I want you to be part of this group. You get to ask any question that you have. I don't care what it is. There's no such thing as a dumb question. You get updates on what's currently working. You get to share your ideas. And I love this because you can see how we've got just students that are in there that are sharing ideas. They're sharing their success stories. They're sharing, how well they're doing. You get to brainstorm ideas, right? You get to ask opinions of your covers and your titles and the niches that you're thinking about publishing your book to. This is just an awesome group. You get help, all right? Again, like I said, I've purchased a lot of courses in the past, and one of my pet peeves that I really disliked was the fact that after you buy a course, it felt like, I was on my own, right? How many people have ever felt like that? Like you feel like you're on your own. And I never want you to feel like that. Okay? I never want you to feel like that. Okay? Amanda, great questions. And again, keep the questions coming. Ask your questions. Type them in because I'm gonna answer questions in about 3 more minutes. So for that reason alone, I make sure that I'm in this group and I'm answering your questions. All right. A lot of my students are Facebook friends with myself. All right. Some of us we talk by Skype. All right. Some of us we jump on the phone and we talk. I want your success. I want you to be able to say, Ty, I'm doing well with this thing. Here's how well I'm doing with this. Ty, I've used the system to go in and pay down a mortgage on my home, or I've used this to travel. Hold on. You guys know Mark Anastasi, right? And I was speaking at Mark's event not too long ago, and I saw one of my students, and he was there in the audience. Now, here's the thing. I had seen him maybe about a week before in Austin, Texas. And now I go out to London, and I'm speaking at Mark's event in London, and I see him out in the audience, and number one, he just got up, and I was just totally blown away by it. I didn't expect it. He gave me just the most raving testimonial, all right, to the audience. And, I started blushing. It was just totally blown away. But the other thing is after the event, we went out for lunch, and he said, Ty, I got to thank you because your system has allowed me to literally travel the world. And he travels. He was out in Australia. He was going to Africa, and he had been to London. And he travels by himself. He didn't have a wife or kids or anything like that. But, my wife and I, we travel with our children. We have 4 children. We have a huge family, and we travel. But it was just awesome. That is what I live for. It was just awesome to be able to see one of my students that far out and to be able to get that type of a testimonial from him live and in person. And that's what I want from you. All right. So the other great thing about being part of this Facebook group is you get to interact with successful people that are already getting results. You get to interact with folks that Yelena says amazing. Thank you, Ty. Here, I'm going to give you the link again. There's a lot of folks that are trying to get in. That site is kcf2.com/start. The thing is, you get to interact with people that are starting right now just as you are. Okay, starting right now just as you are. And then you also get to interact with people that have been, they've been part of this group, they've been part of this course for months or for years, and you get to see where they're at. And you get to see the growth. All right? Now, if you didn't sign up immediately, all right, before we go into the Q&A, there's the first reason it has to be is you don't think you can come up with ebook ideas that sell. And I gave you the guarantee, right? The second reason is you're nervous about putting it in place. You're nervous about putting it all in place. And you have to keep in mind that you're dealing with a multi-billion-dollar company, Amazon.com, right? Very reputable. Very, very reputable. All right, so you have nothing to lose here. The third reason is you think that this is too expensive. And to be honest with you, it's with the amount that you're going to make back, even if this was sold for $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, it would still be to your benefit. Okay, you would still come out on top. Okay, so as you saw earlier where I said, just within the year's period, I was at $30,000 in sales in 1 month. And there's nothing special about me. Okay, I personally can't write an ebook to save my life. Like I said, I failed English 101 not once but twice. Okay, I spent nearly 5 years of trial and error and the thousands discovering the secrets that I'm going to give you today for a small, one-time, intelligent investment. And you can spend countless hours doing it the hard way, or you can do it the easy. So I want to thank you for listening. We're going to go into Q&A right now. And if you're still on the fence or if you haven't gotten in, go over to kcf2.com/start, or if you need to talk it over with your wife, your husband, your significant, do yourself a favor and write down the URL. Ann, what are your questions? Ann says, my questions are, okay. If you need to talk it over with a business partner, your significant, your wife, your husband, write down the URL so you can get in later. Ann says, will it not be too difficult for Amazon to send me the check to Mexico? Not at all, Ann. Not at all. Okay. Like I said, great question, and thank you for asking that, Ann. You can do this and get paid from Amazon no matter what country you are in. I have students that are in just about 100 countries right now. Okay. I've got students that are in the United States, obviously. You can be in any state in the United States. I have students that are in Canada, Australia, the UK, Mexico, Germany, just literally all over Europe, Spain, Italy, France. I have students that are in Africa, on the continent of Africa. I have students that are in South America, Brazil, Panama. I have students that are in Mexico. Okay. Now you've got one in Switzerland. I actually have some students that are in Switzerland as well, you. So thank you and welcome aboard. I'm glad to have you. Okay. Derek says, do you get paid through PayPal? Derek, if you want to pay by PayPal, here's what I want you to do. And send me an email at PayPal@tycohen.com. So PayPal@tycohen.com. Okay, my assistant will get that. And just let her know that you want to pay using PayPal. Okay, so PayPal@tycohen.com. If you don't see a PayPal link on the order page, sometimes there's a PayPal link there. I'm not sure if it's there right now. All right, so Yo says, you me too. So let's get into some of these questions. Go ahead and ask your questions. Let's see. Let's see. Will it work? Oh, yes, Ann, I like that question. Ann's got, and while I'm answering questions, I'm gonna, let me put this up here again so you can see everything that you're going to get. Okay. Ann says, oh, let me start in order. David says, why would Amazon ban someone? Well, great question. Here's the Amazon will ban your account if you're putting up duplicate content, David. So, meaning if you publish something like PLR material, how many people are familiar with PLR material? If you are, put yes. If you are not, put no. And I'll explain it if you're not. Okay, so Ann's not, no, says Christine. Okay, great. So, PLR material is basically what's known as private label rights. Private label rights. And that is, you can go in and buy an ebook, or you can buy content, videos, anything, basically. You can even buy vitamins that have, like, private label rights. And you can put your name on it and sell it as your own content. Okay? You never want to sell anything that is not unique. You never want to sell anything that was not written by you or not written by someone that you've hired. Okay, so it should be totally unique content. Does that make sense? Great question, whoever asked that one. Okay, we're going to spend some time on these questions. I'm here. If you guys want to ask them, okay? So I love them. Let's see, what else? Can I publish fiction? Yes, you absolutely can. This is a perfect course to publish fiction with. You can also go in and publish nonfiction as well with this. What else do we have? Will it work to publish like a series of books and chapters per month? Yes, actually, Anna, yes, it does. I do that as well. I publish. So here's the thing. If you get a book that's selling well, right? Um, why not continue? Why not create something similar and publish something similar? If you have one title that's selling well, what you want to do is you want to go in and publish something that's similar, okay? Or within the same genre. Because you already have customers, you've got readers, you've got a fan base that like what it is that you're publishing. Okay? Great question. Great question. And again, we have just a few more slots. If you're watching this live or if you're watching the replay, go in and get your order in right now and you will get all of the bonuses that I mentioned. Okay? So do that now by going to kcf2.com/start. Let's see, what other questions do we have? Will it, oh, Spain soon, says Bendito. Awesome, Spain. Awesome, Bendito. I do have coaching students in Spain as well. And the beautiful thing about this is Amazon has this Amazon.com Spain site. Right? It's not Amazon.com, and you can actually publish. I publish books in Spanish. Once I get books that sell well, that's my next step, is to publish them in Spanish, so that I now make even more money, right? Because there's a huge Spanish market that's out there that's underserved. Okay, so let's see. What else do we have? Great question. Please keep the questions coming. You guys, I love the questions here, so don't stop. There's no such thing as a dumb question. David says, is there any way to purchase later? I cannot do it at this time, even though I really would like to. Will the site be up still to buy, say, a week or two from now? David, I can't promise you that, but go in, like I said, write down the website address and make a note. And if you want to make like David, send my assistant an email with your name, okay, at PayPal@tycohen.com, and let her know that you want to try to get in later on, okay, and hopefully she can reserve a spot for you. I can't promise it, but it's worth a try, okay, so please try that. And anyone else, all right? But if you're on a fence, you want to go in right now and get all of the bonuses, so place your order right now. You've got a few more minutes, and then make sure you put your name in the questions box once you get your answer in. Let's see. Amazing webinar. Thank you, says Yelena. Yelena, I like that name. That's awesome. Thank you. Amanda, I think I just answered your question. She says, does your course ever recommend working or editing or using PLR or the dangers of? Amanda, you do not want to use private label rights material. Nothing. Master resale rights, PLR, none of that stuff. Stay as far away as possible from it, because this is, okay, a business that will generate you income long term for years and years and years and years to come. Okay, for years and years and years to come. So you do not want to do anything that's going to jeopardize it. So don't publish PLR material. Great question. Great question. You guys have some awesome ones. Let's see. Anna says, thank you so much for your generosity. Let's see. Derek says, what is a good price to start selling an ebook for a maximum profit? I like to test between $2.99 and $4.99. All right. Amanda says, weird question. Is it possible for people to print out ebooks? I am thinking of English and math practice forms that can be printed. That would be a first. I have never done that yet. That would be a first. But Amazon is always making adjustments, so you never know where they could be, for the next couple of months from now. Again, because they want you to make as much money as possible. Next question would be, does your course talk about cover design outsourcing? Yes, I absolutely do. We go into that in detail. All right. Like I said, we were limited in time on this webinar, but in the course you get so much more than what the people that just saw the webinar got. So you have a huge advantage, right? And your success rate is just multiplied. So again, if you don't have a course, go in and get it. I'm in. Oh my God, says Anna. Great. Good to have you in, Anna. Awesome. That was a smart move. I'm in. I've got to make it work. Talking to myself. I love it. Welcome aboard. Bendito says, how many hours does it take? That's a great question, Bendito, as well. You can go over the course in a weekend if you want. So it's totally up to you. All right, there's videos and there's PDFs, so you can go over it in a weekend. Let's see. Wow, Bendito says $700,000 to start a Starbucks franchise. That is insane. We still have orders coming in too. You guys are really motivated. I love this. You guys are really action takers. So welcome to all of the new students that are on board now. Give yourself a pat on the back. Let's see. No one does this. Awesome, dude, says Amanda. Thank you. That's a guarantee. I love your guarantee, says Simon. Thank you. Is the price right, says Anna. Yeah, Anna, you see how low the price was on this thing? Check it out, kcf2.com/start. Let's see. Thank you very much for the lessons you have taught me. This was great information. Okay, awesome. What else do we have? Oh, Christina says, when signing up with KDP, do they ask for your tax ID number? Great question, Christina. Well, you can use your social security number if you're outside of the U.S. Don't worry about it. You can use your tax ID number if you have one. Awesome. Let's see what else. Oh, Oaf says, just in case we hit a wall, could we ask you a question or two? Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, so we still have orders coming in. Again, you can get in by going to kcf2.com/start. And here's what I'm going to do. If you're in and you're watching this video right now, you're still in, and you're still watching, I want to reward you, all right, for being, number one, someone that is committed. So if you're watching and you get your order in before the webinar ends, I'm going to give you all of the bonuses. All of the bonuses, all right? Bendito says 3:30 a.m. for him. No, absolutely. Wow. Thanks, says Bendito. Yep. Ty, do you have another website? No, I don't, Brett. What do you mean? Oh, Brett says, how can we contact you? You can go in. Here's what you want to do. Why don't you reach out to me on Facebook? You can go to either Ty Cohen, facebook.com/Cohen, COHENTY, all right? Or you can reach me on, and that one is almost maxed out at 5,000 friends. I also have another Facebook page over at facebook.com. Well, you guys are very serious. The orders are still coming in. I guess everyone's eager to get all of the bonuses again. If you're watching until the end, you are going to get all of the bonuses. You can also join me on Facebook at facebook.com/Ty, Tycohen. All right, so either my first name and last name or my last name and first name. I've got two different Facebook accounts. You can also check out my website, tycohen.com, but I must warn you, it is under construction right now. We're redesigning it to offer even more value. But come by, stop by, say hi. Join me on Twitter at Twitter/Ty, Tycohen. Okay. Let me get back to answering these questions and repeating what others had said. Thank you for your generosity. Awesome. Absolutely. Thanks for this, says Brett. Absolutely. Thank you, Brett. My real name is Alberto, but I put in all. Oh, that means blessed success person. Thank you. Thank you, Alberto. I appreciate that. David says, would you recommend starting with offering your book free, then upping the price later to the $2.99, $4.99 price point to increase exposure reviews? You know what? That's a good question, David. It's one I get a lot. I don't offer my book for free. Amazon has that Kindle Select program, which I don't subscribe to. All right. What else? I'm losing my voice here. We're going on, wow. What are we going on? 2.5 hours here. But I'm enjoying this. I enjoy the interaction here with you guys. Do I need first to do the author's rights registrations in my country? No. Simon says, please say something about formatting. This is my biggest question. In the course, Simon, I show you where to go in and get formatters. But, you can also upload your ebook in a Microsoft Word format, and Amazon will accept it. A book of interviews, Anna. Yes, that's a good one. Yes. Interviews, quotes, recipes. What do you think about Audible? Amanda asks. You know what? Audible, I love Audible. It's a great way to go in and expand on an ebook that's selling. Let's see. Amanda says, do you talk about Amazon Kindle Unlimited? I don't, again, it's like Kindle Select. I don't subscribe to Amazon Kindle Unlimited either, all right? I just don't believe in those programs. So I like to be able to get paid as much as I possibly can, and so should you. Benito says, can we have more than one pen name? Yes, you can. Again, and you absolutely do. If you've got multiple books, let me just cover that for a second. If you have an ebook that's talking about how to fix a car, and then you have one that talks about how to sell a house, and then you have one that's talking about how to lose weight, and then you have one that talks about how to breastfeed a baby, or you have one that's in the romance genre, and then you've got a sci-fi, then you've got a mystery, and then you've got a whodunit. You may want to use a pen name for each one because you don't want to look like a jack of all trades. Okay. Let's see what else. Christina has a great question. What about royalty-free books? Can we publish those? No, Christina, stay away from those as well, all right, because they've already been published. Brett, what do you do about copyright and ISBN numbers? So, Brett, good questions. With copyright, as soon as you publish something, you own the rights to it. You own the copyright to it. So as soon as you make it available to the public, right? ISBN numbers, these are digital ebooks, so you don't need an ISBN number. Let's see what else. Amanda asked, how many different pen names can I publish under if I have 4 different genres? You can publish under 4 different pen names if you want. Actually, Amazon doesn't limit that. So they don't limit the number of pen names that you can publish under. Brett says, my brother's in Morrisville. Oh, awesome. I used to have a company out in Morrisville that used to do some work for me. Irma says, how do you know if the pen name you chose is already taken? You can just search it on Amazon. All right? Search it on Amazon. Okay, we're actually getting more orders than I expected to get, actually, so I do have to do something that I didn't want to do, and I do have to max it. I can't give everyone all of the bonuses as much as I would love to, especially this bonus here because it's costing me money. So everyone that has already ordered and that will order within the next 5 minutes will get all of the bonuses. But I have to cut it off there. All right, so whether you're watching it live, oh, no, that's fine, Anna. Keep it, whether you're watching this live or the replay, you want to go in and order right now. So within the next 5 minutes, or else I have to cut off the bonus for you. Simon says, awesome stuff. I've got to get back to work now. Great, Simon. Good to have you. Thank you for investing so much time. That was awesome. Thank you for such a value-packed webinar, Ty. Thank you, David. I appreciate that. Brett says, I just sent you a Facebook request. Awesome. Cool. I'll check it out when I get off. Christina says, what was the website again for Google keywords? So go to google.com and then type in keyword planner, Google keyword planner. Amanda says, do you recommend signing up as a business, registered with state, etc., or as a sole proprietorship? It's up to you. Amanda, when I first got started, I just signed up as myself, as a sole proprietor. I'm repeating again, thank you for your generosity. Lots of value, says Brett. Okay, so great. Looks like I covered all of the questions. I love it, love it, love it. And we are closing this bad boy out. We're closing it out. So if you haven't got in yet, sorry, I think it's probably too late. You probably have about another minute or two. Thank you so much. Best ever. I tried to send you a friend request, but you are maxed out, says Christina. Christina, try my other Facebook account. It's Ty Cohen, Tycohen. So facebook.com/Tycohen. Thank you very much. Good night, says Irma. Awesome. Great. Let's see what else. So again, ignore this, the first 5 people. If you get in right now, you're going to get that bonus as well, and you will be good to go. All right. Thank you so much. It will make my dream come true. This is the entire program, and again, you can get started right now for less than you think. This was awesome. I got a review here. I actually had a couple of these video reviews. I don't know if you guys will be able to hear this. Let me see if it works. This was another one of my students that I met out in London. I love doing this. Like, I don't speak at events much, probably once a year or twice a year, but when I do, the most amazing thing is to have someone that is a student of yours come up out of the audience and just tell you about their results and what you've been able to do as far as changing their life. This is one of my students, Sabina, and I had met her out on, she's from Germany. I don't know if this is going to play. Let me see if it will. Hold on one second. Oh, it's not going to play. I really wish you guys could see that. Christina says, when I tried that one, it was a different person. Should be this. Christina, I'm just sending you the link now. Try that. And I'm also giving you guys that link again. I wish you... All right, so there's everything you get. This is the end of this webinar. I want to wish you a great day, great night, great morning, great afternoon. I know we've got folks that are everywhere, and you guys are amazing. All right, give yourself a pat on the back. Thank you for maxing out like that. And was it? Yeah, I think it's Ty. Facebook.com/Ty Cohen. Which one was it for you, Ulf? Thank you, Amanda. Heartfelt thanks for share. Thank you, Bendito. You guys are awesome. Hey, leave me a testimonial really quickly if you don't mind. I want to share your testimonials. Would you do me a favor and just type out maybe about 2 or 3 sentences and just leave me a testimonial for you guys that are watching right now? Leave a testimonial and tell me what you thought of this webinar. All right. I would really, really, really appreciate that from you guys. If you can, best webinar always, says Bendito. Thank you. I appreciate that. If you guys can, no, leave it right now in the questions box, David. Just take a few minutes. Just take 60 seconds and just leave me a testimonial. Tell me what you thought of this webinar right now. All right. And leave me a testimonial right now if you don't mind. Or you can come on my Facebook page at cohen.com/. Actually, I don't think. If we're not friends, you may not be able to do that. But just leave me a testimonial right here in the questions box, and I want to use your testimonial. I want to show it to I'll put your name up in lights. How about that? Perfect. All right, so with that said, all right, the testimonials are coming in. Awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. You don't know how much this means to me. Okay. So go and leave your testimonials there. I love it. David says the most informative webinar for ebook writing that I've even had the pleasure of attending. So much value is packed into this hour. You can't miss this. Thank you, David. That's it. I love it. Ove says, I attended the webinar of Ty Cohen. It was awesome. Content-packed webinar, better than I expected. He went the extra mile and really over-delivered. Thank you. I appreciate it, guys. That's what I appreciate. And that's why, you know what? David says it's true. It's heartfelt. That's why I'm asking you to leave a testimonial, because I know it will be heartfelt, right? That was my intention. When I got on, I said, I'm going to give you the best that I can, okay? And I think that if you know what, my belief is, and I'm going to go into my whole personal development spiel again, right? Mindset. But I'm a firm believer in the fact that we can all tell BS, right? We can tell crap. We can sense it. We have this innate ability in us to do that. So, you know, always go with your instinct. Always go with your gut feeling. I don't care who it's from, right? Your gut feeling will never steer you wrong, all right? So, with that said, I appreciate your time. I appreciate the testimonials from everyone that has put them in. They're still coming in. I appreciate you, and I'm going to leave the window open for just a few more minutes so that you can continue to leave your testimonials in there. It just really means a lot to me. I appreciate it. Now I can show my wife and kids that, you know, I'm providing some awesome stuff and that people get this, because they think it's just dad, right? You know how your kids are. So I'm going to leave the page up. And again, if you get in right now, it's still not too late. You can get in and you can go in and you can get your order in right now. My little daughter just walked in. Remember the one I showed you at the very beginning? All right. I want to show you her. Leave your testimonials in too. She just walked in. So she's like, Dad, it's time to go, Dad. All right, so I'm going to go in and hang out with her for a while. This is what, let me show you something here. This is my daughter. Where is she at? This is her right here. All right, this is why when you do something like this, the reward is just so amazing. This is her. What a cutie, right? Let me show you her magazine cover. This is her right here. She just walked in. So I want her to say, she wants me to go, so say something to her really quickly. Say something to everybody. They're listening to you.
Hello, my name's Summer.
She says, hello, my name is Summer. All right. Tell them you do beauty pageants, right?
Uh-huh.
Tell them what your title is.
My title, Miss North Carolina's Outstanding Little Miss.
Miss North Carolina's Outstanding Little Miss. So this is what it's all about, folks. When you get in and you do something like this is what it's about. All right. So with that said, thank you. Look at Summer. Look at all of the responses that are coming in. Beautiful. Thanks for sharing your dad. Hi. Precious, you are so cute. Hello, nice to meet you, Summer. Hi, Summer, so sweet. She is beaming right now. Hi, so cute. Beautiful. Actually, David, I don't think that one. Let me see if that one works. I'm not even sure. Music Biz Center. David, follow me on the other one. / Cohen, COHENTY. All right. All right. God bless your family. Thank you, David. I appreciate it. And with that said, I am out. I'm going to spend some time with my wife and my children, and I hope to have you as a student soon. And I mean, listen, this is the stuff. Going back to this, right? This is the lifestyle that it gives you. I mean, look at this. You know, I went from being able to do all of this stuff to just really having a ball. Okay? Summer's like, that was me. All right, so get in now. And let me just scroll out of his thing so I can give you the site. All right, if I can go from, if I can go from this, right, to the lifestyle that I live now, then you can do it. All right, this is easy stuff again. Okay, so with that said, please go in, leave me a testimony if you haven't done so yet. I'm going to leave the screen open for another couple of minutes. And just to be fair to everyone, if you get in before the screen closes out, you'll get all of the bonuses. You'll get everything that's mentioned on this screen here. With that said, bye-bye, and I appreciate your time.